that only a minority of police officers have been trained to tell a motorbike's too loud. And that goes right across the board. You know, so the old days that Colin will know, when a police officer went into a community and policed a community, they can't do it now because they're hobbled by the people who should be helping them. That's why I'm going to keep coming back to it. We've got to win elections. We've got to get Nigel into number 10. We've got to get more police and crime commissioners elected. Next year we've got, I think, 6 mayoral elections where the mayor is going to be holding police and crime. We've got to get these guys elected, then we can do something about it. We've got to win elections, so get out there, deliver leaflets, knock on doors, get the votes in the ballot box.
Sorry, Layla.
I was just thinking, so there are so many, I know you've all seen hollowed out high streets, and I proposed it in my ward. I propose that people who own those shops what police really lack is a touchdown in their ward. So a lot of them have to travel quite far to the police station that services that area. And I wanted to put almost temporary police stations into these abandoned shops.
Well, remember the old blue boxes?
It would be great community engagement. And I know that a lot of those shops are squatted. There's a lot of ASB around it. And so you could all lobby your local landlords of those shops that are abandoned. And they don't have to be on a permanent basis, but they could be. And also, you could encourage people to become
like
special constables, right?
Police.
Specials is a great job. I wanted to be a special, but you can't if you're political. You get all the rights of a police officer and none of the responsibility. It's really great. You don't get paid. And you get to, you know, I know a doctor who doesn't have time, but he just gives up digital. He works digitally and helps them with that. But I think a touchdown in every high street where police officers can go in all these empty shops that I'm sure we all have in our towns and villages would be great.
Like we call them pop-up cop shops.
Pop-up cop shops.
Pop-up cop shops.
That's a great idea. A great idea.
I know we've not got much time. There's one thing that I think is really important about this whole business that we're trying to do here that I need to impress on you. When things happen to do with crime at the moment, you will be told we're getting a new law. We're going to do something about this. Don't be gaslit anymore by this, okay? Right. We, the police, have got virtually all the powers they need. There are all the offences on the statute books that they need. In fact, there are too many.
We need less legislation, not more.
And the response that you get when something happens, this government will say, oh, we're going to make a new law because that makes you think, or it's meant to make you think they're doing something. It's not doing anything. It's nothing. We've got the power there. We just need the means to enforce it.
And the really good news, right, is that we've got a new Justice Minister. His name's David Lammy. I mean, whoever came up with that idea?
It makes you shudder, doesn't it?
It really does. It's quite unbelievable. But this is the other thing. We talked about the courts, and I'm told by people in the legal profession that, you know, about 50% of our courts are never open.
That's right.
They haven't got anybody to put in there. And when they do actually get cases, quite often the police don't turn up to prosecute the case, so the guy gets let off. You know, nobody seems to be watching any of it, you know?
And it cascades backward, because the courts don't impose proper penalties. Crown Prosecution Service don't want to spend a lot of money when the guy's just going to get a slap wrist. And then the police don't want to spend a lot of time investigating something that the Crown Prosecution aren't going to prosecute. So it all cascades backwards, and it ends up with people getting off scot-free for the most ridiculous behaviour that you were talking about, the kids on bikes. You know, they should be getting punished, and it's got to be visible
because
policing.
It's frightening when people do that.
Yeah, that's right. And yet, you know, it's all cascading backwards and forwards because you've got a system which is coming from the Home Office that basically does not believe that punishment works.
The thing is, we have prolific shoplifting. We have prolific antisocial behaviour that doesn't end up in a prison sentence. And they are free to come back the next day, and we've all seen it. In our towns and villages, it's the same offenders. They get arrested, they've stolen about 100 quid, or, I don't know, they've caused some antisocial behaviour, drunk and disorderly, and the next day they're on the high street again. They can't be in prison for it, and they shouldn't be. But there's one tool that is so underused by our police officers because they don't have enough resources, and that's called a CBO. And that's a criminal behaviour order, which bans them from the area. And I've spoken to a lot of police forces. They don't have the resources to apply for that. Only the City of London, which is a totally separate force to the Met, does. And that bans them from entering your area. And that is punishment enough when we don't have enough prison spaces. But because we have justice ministers who have no idea about the criminal justice system or what the hell they're doing. This is not, they'll do it for a football match, and now they want to introduce it to a concert, but the ordinary person walking down the high street, we don't matter. No. You can come back every single day, commit the same offence, and they can't be bothered to apply or to focus on criminal behaviour orders, and that's something I want to see.
Well, David Lammy, of course, famously was being interviewed once, do you remember? It was up in North London, and he said, you know, the thing is, you never see any police on the street. There's literally a guy behind him in a police uniform. But can we also do another thing, which is, you know, we've supposedly got no room in our prisons. We've got 12,000 foreign prisoners in our prisons. Can we not just get them the hell out and deport a lot of them?
Absolutely.
Like now.
For a start, if they come here and commit a crime, we don't want them in this country anymore. They should go. But also, it would free up space in the prisons for guys who, at the minute, are effectively getting let off because they say, there's not enough space in the prisons.
Seems like a very easy fix, doesn't it?
You'd have thought, but again, you know, you've got to have the will to do it. And I know I keep coming back to this. We've got to keep winning elections in order to get people in positions of power who actually want to do this stuff. That's the only time it will happen. So we've got to win elections.
Why are they in here anyway? You've got to ask yourself, why are we importing risk? No one's denying we have our own sexual offenders. Of course we do. That's why we want tougher policing and sentencing round. But our government is importing risk, right? We have people coming on boats who we have no idea of their criminal history. Zero. And that unknown is a huge risk. And any government would take it into account when placing them. But they don't.
Yeah, but don't worry, though,
They place them at our doorstep.
No, but Keir Starmer's thought of a way of fixing that. He's going to give them all digital ID, because that's going to really make a difference,
They're
isn't
going to put them ahead of everyone else in house. I mean, it is maddening.
I know. It really is absolutely incredible. We've run over. It says, please end now over there. OK, then. Any last words from you, Colin?
No, we get it. We know, you know, and we're going to do it. When we win, it will be better.
OK. Great message. Thank you very much, Layla. Thank you, Rupert. Thank you, Colin. And thanks to all of you for making this such a great event, because without you, it's nothing.
We off?
Cool. Are we done?
Well done, chaps. Nice to see you, Colin. Thank you very much indeed. Great stuff from Mike and the panel there. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the hall, it's now time for lunch. Our breakout sessions continue in Britannia, Liberty, Nelson, Endeavour and Union Theatres. Now, just before you run off, so much more still to come this afternoon, including Sarah Poachin explaining her journey from magistrate to MP. We've got consultant cardiologist Aseem Malhotra. He will be making Britain healthy. We also have our special mayoral panel. And if that wasn't enough, Alison Pearson and Liam Halligan from The Telegraph will be hosting this very special Planet Normal podcast with Lucy Connolly, and you cannot afford to miss that. And then, of course, that will be followed by our fantastic Deputy Leader, Richard Tice MP, and our indomitable leader, Nigel Farage MP, will close this year's conference. Now, if you're watching at home, do not fear. Once again, we have special programming for you throughout the lunch break. So from DDB to JK, Jeremy Kyle, take it away.
David, thank you very much indeed. Right, so this is now affectionately known as the Jeremy Kyle Hour. Are we on? Yes. We are on. Thank you, David Bull. You go and have your lunch. It's 45 minutes of me. We are backstage in the other main hall. So much between now and 2:15, including, I think, lots of MPs, including Nigel Farage, at the merchandise store. We'll do that. We're going to run around. We're going to get lots of opinions. Grabbed a man called Mr. Armstrong, who's come a long way from Newcastle and is reformed through and through. Why are you here, Rob?
Well, I want to be part of what's happening, and I think we're about to see a seismic shift in the politics of this country for the better. We've all seen the disaster that's unfolding before our very eyes. And I think Nigel Farage, who takes so much stick, you know, he was responsible for taking him out of the European Union, which I was a massive fan of. and something has to change. And I think we're seeing it, and this is the start of it, and I couldn't miss this, so I've travelled down. I've been lucky enough to be backstage. I've been lucky enough to speak to everybody. But the feeling for change in the country, I know everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's up to them. But I've seen enough, and to watch somebody come in after 14 years of seeing the mistakes that was left for them, and not have a plan, and to take it to where they're going to take it, which is nowhere good. We're really ready for change.
When you've come here, and I've been here for 2 days now, there's a feeling in this auditorium, in this building, of real hope. There's a feeling of, and in fact, if you look around, it's all age ranges, from 18, 19-year-olds through to old people. Suddenly there seems to be a feeling and a belief that maybe change is imminent. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, I know, there's only so many people can come to these events, but I've got friends of all age groups, and they're all sorts of levels of people, hard-working people, wealthy people. So many people are saying the same thing, and I think because of the way Starmer treated people who acted somewhat inappropriately, there's a lot.
Honestly, you'd think, hold on a minute. Go on.
There's a lot of people who are scared to raise their head up and support the events. But I think you'll see that when the time comes, I think the mess will be unbelievably worse than it is now, if it could get that way. And I think that we're about to see a change in politics that nobody could ever have imagined.
Good man. Rob's come all the way from Newcastle. Now, me, with my roving microphones, going to go running. Thank you, Robbie. Come on, let's have a look. Oh, hold on. I'm sitting down between you. Move. Hold on. No, we're not talking about that. So, are you two together? No. Oh, this could be a Coldplay moment. When you say you're not together at the Reform Party conference, what do you mean?
We're just not together.
What's your name?
Daniel.
Why are you here?
Just for the Reform.
And on a serious note, what do you feel like in this hall? We were here yesterday. There's a real different feeling, isn't there?
Yeah, massively, yeah. Huge difference, yeah.
Is Farage the man?
Definitely.
And you're not together, although he'd like to be, but he hasn't told you that yet.
No.
You're just friends, aren't you?
Just friends.
He said, come to the look at his face, get the camera. He said, come to the Reform Party conference, we're friends. Big Steve's not here. He's not here, it's not happening. Are you here to say, why are you here? On a date?
No.
Oh, so you don't want to be with him?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Join me after the break, we'll get the truth, I'm joking. Don't start now. What's your name?
Molly.
Molly. On a serious note, the thing I picked up on over the last couple of days is just the sheer magnitude of the difference in the demographic, young people through to older people. A lot of the younger generation are actually buying into this concept. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Why?
So, because we want change. It's and the only person that's going to bring change is Farage. I've got a little toddler, so for me, that's why I've joined the party. I want change for her. The education system is a complete mess. Everything's a mess. We need total reform, and I think Nigel Farage is the only person that will bring that.
Brilliant. Listen, great to have you here, and no hope. Nice to meet you. I'm just being honest, you got absolutely no hope. You're not the father of the baby, are you? No. DNA coming up. Let's go. Thank you very much. You see, you wanted me to say that. He's having his... You enjoying your chips, sir? Lovely. Don't worry about me. I haven't had any food. Should we go on the bus again? I like a bus. We're on the bus. I'm going on the bus. Are you all right? Coming on bus. Let's have a look. This is the really... Why are people sitting on a bus that isn't going anywhere? Good afternoon. We're live to the nation. How are you? What's your name?
Sandra.
Sandra. Why are you sat on a bus that's not going anywhere?
I wanted to go...
We're waiting for the driver. When's it going to turn up?
Where are you trying to go? Where is the driver? Does the driver exist? Are you together?
Yeah, we are.
How long have you been married?
Well, we're not actually married, but...
Wherever I go, it happens.
3 years.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, and thank you for your support. You're having a nice time, yeah? These people at the back just don't want to talk to me. Come on, let's go. Hello, love. Are you all right? Look at you. Look, come here. We don't care. It's as rough. What's your name?
Aidan.
Aidan, you're quite young to be at Reform. Why are you here?
I just think it's time for a new, what do you call it?
Change?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where have you come from?
Lancashire.
That's brave. And how long did it take?
Well, I don't know, about 3-ish hours.
Is this your nan or your sister?
My mum.
Your mum, I'm joking. Mummy, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, good, thank you.
Do you know what's really interested me over the last couple of days is seeing, as I've said all along, just the different age ranges.
Yeah.
What does this mean to you, having been here?
It's for the future, isn't it? That's what I'm here for. You know, he's still only 17, so I wouldn't want him to come on his own, and it's a great opportunity to see the spread of people here.
That spreads quite an interesting point, though, isn't it?
Absolutely fascinating, it is. That's been half of what we've been interested in talking about.
I mean, I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it. I thought there would be... I don't know what I thought, because I'd never been to a party conference because I thought they'd be boring. But in essence, the truth is, it's a wide range, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. It covers everybody.
Just the big question is, why are you sat on a bus that's going nowhere?
Yeah, just for a chill.
Just for a chill. She's chilling. Good man. Look after your mum and have a good afternoon, all right? We're going to go that way. The poor cameraman's having a nightmare because he's now got to back out backwards because he's thinking that Jeremy Carl's driving me absolutely barking mad. Anyway, we're live from the Reform Party Conference 2025. The bus is going absolutely nowhere. I think we're going to head... I think they're over at the merch tent. Oh, there's people having photographs. Afternoon, sir, how are you? He looked at me like he was terrified, him. Absolutely terrified. Ah, come here. Come here, my child. Oh, hold on. No, stay there, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Let's go and find... I think Nigel Farage is currently signing shirts at the merch tent. Let's have a little look. See if we can get in on this. I should be able to get in on this. How are you, kiddo? How are you? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You look very scary.
Okay,
Security man. Say hello.
Oh.
You're doing a good job. Okay, so what we've got here is all the MPs and people who have spoken. Let's just bring you round a little bit here, okay? Excuse me, darling. Sorry. You're right. I want to know if they're buying them or getting them free.
That's it. After he's finished his snapped.
I'm going to go straight to Nigel.
Straight to Nigel, yeah. Right.
Okay, come with me. Nigel,
yes.
Are we done?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. Everything's going. Come here. So we're doing our bit at lunchtime, running around.
Yeah.
Unbelievable scenes.
Phenomenal energy, joy,
Yeah.
happiness. Whoever saw that at a party political conference in modern times? Absolutely no one. It's brilliant.
And just doing the last 2 days of feeling that the demographics so wide-ranging, youngsters through to older people.
Absolutely extraordinary. Lots of young people, lots of old people,
Yeah.
people from every community, a whole group of Indian doctors from Birmingham turned up on a minibus.
Heathrow Airport.
I mean, just unbelievable. Yeah, corporate sponsorship, we've never had that before. And around the fringes, you know, there's Dr. Stark is speaking over there. I mean, there's like 700 people there. It's absolutely amazing.
And the message to the people here and further afield is what? We saw
one
you on
message
stage
is-
yesterday. I mean, change is coming, right?
Oh, big change is coming. But I mean, the narrative we keep getting is it's a one-man party. Well, this is our first 11 that you can
I might
see.
go. Shall I go along the ground and see if
Yeah,
the first 11?
Have a word. Have
The
a
main
word,
man.
have a
Right, let's
word.
start over here. Come with me, Nigel. Thank you. Zia, you're on camera. Let's see the shirt.
There we go.
Did you pay 100 quid or was it free?
This one I have not yet paid for. I will be paying my £100 shortly.
Remember your expenses. Remember. How have you felt this conference gone? Been phenomenal.
I think, look, we're incredibly proud of what we've achieved. It's been an even bigger conference than last year. We had thousands of enthusiastic patriots last year. We had thousands more enthusiastic patriots this year. And we've had great engagement from the business community. We've had brilliant new hosts like yourself, sir.
The minutes are racking up. The invoice is getting bigger.
So look, ultimately, what this conference shows the world is that reform is getting for government. And when Nigel's the Prime Minister, we will be able to turn this great country around.
That is Zia. Thank you. Let's go to Luke. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Didn't wear a suit then?
I didn't know. I'm glad you noticed.
Oh, I'm only don't hit me, will you? No. How have you found it? Because as I say, I've been here for 2 days and it's extraordinary. The age ranges, the enthusiasm, everything.
I think the energy and the vibe stepping in this morning was just incredible. I've never seen nothing like it.
And the age ranges?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's great to see.
Good man, thank you, and a great job you're doing. Thank you, Sarah Poachin. Good afternoon. She looks terrified. We speak all the time. Serious speech this afternoon. I've been seeing you practicing.
Big speech. Don't hold this lot up. They've all got to be in their seats for 2 o'clock.
Is that how you're selling it?
Yeah.
They just say to me, "Can you fill until Sarah takes the stage?" But what are you going to be talking about briefly this afternoon?
Crime and justice, women in reform, women's safety, and all the reasons that people should look to us as real politicians speaking with conviction about things we believe in.
Fantastic to see you. And
we can have a women's team. Look at this.
See what I mean? It's all starting. Mr. Anderson, we've never spoken, have we?
We haven't. No, it's very good to meet you, mate.
And you. I was saying to Nigel, I've said to everybody, extraordinary feeling here. Real faith, real hope, real belief.
We are the best supported team in the country, and that man there is our midfield general, and he's going to lead us to victory whenever it is, probably 2027.
The man that was selling them yesterday, I said to Harry, I said, why has he got number 10? And he said, I think he's playing striker. I said, I think you've missed the point.
I think number 10 is probably the best position for Nigel. He's just behind the front two. He's looking around, he's creating stuff, can score from any angle. Nobody can stop him, so yeah, he's our midfield
Good
general.
man, Lee, thank you. Final word, Nigel, before I go along. Striker or just behind the front two?
I want to be the striker. I want to put the ball in the net. I mean, be it, no doubt about that.
All the glory. And just for you, before we go, because we're doing this, we're going to go along the line. A thank you, I guess, to the thousands of people that have turned up.
I said at the end of the day yesterday when I spoke for the second time, I just said I'm incredibly proud of our small, dedicated team. But this incredible. I mean, this is not a conference; it's a festival. It's a festival.
Party.
And my thanks to all the people who stood for election, gone out, delivered the leaflets, done all the stuff. This is a party of real activism, and the others don't know what's hit them. And do you know something? We've only just started.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate, for all your support. We're going to move along. Thank you, Nigel. Richard Tice.
Here we are, yes.
Here we are. Where are you playing?
I'm normally in goal.
Left back in the changing room is the
I'm in
truth.
goal. When I was at goalkeeper, actually, I was in Strangeways prison. Not many people have been to Strangeways back in the 80s when I was at university.
Have you been checked before you stood for Parliament about being in Strangeways? We don't want that coming out.
I was a visitor.
Oh, right, okay.
Rather like I was a visitor to Lucy Connolly.
So the big
talking about that's the big news.
That's what I wanted to
Lucy
say.
Connolly on stage about 3:15-ish. You won't want to miss that. Absolute Reform world exclusive. But these shirts, outstanding. The great football team, and whether as a goalkeeper, am I happy?
Different colour. You might have to wear orange, which would mess with your hair.
Or Liverpool red, or that might get me in
Get
trouble.
out of here. See you later. Here we are.
Can I go next? I'm on a panel.
Now, yesterday, extraordinary speech. The outfit, the singing. Andrea Jenkins, how are you?
Loving it, as you can see. I'm loving being a mayor, and I feel that I can be myself here. You know, it's reform's amazing, and I think these football shirts actually sums up. You know, we are a great team here, and it's Nigel's reform team who will save Britain.
I've said I've been doing this for a couple of days, and it's extraordinary to see the age ranges, the different demographics, and the enthusiasm and the belief and the feeling of hope in this building.
People are walking around smiling.
Yeah.
I mean, look, God, I've been to loads of Tory conferences over the years. I've never seen this optimism. If we could actually bottle this and put it around the whole country, you know, we could achieve so much.
That was the point of this. Sorry,
Yes.
so people, some of the press were saying this morning, it's a bit light-hearted, right? For me, if my view of a party conference would be just sitting there watching people with speeches, you have to meet, greet, and invest in the people that are going to make you what you hope to be. Is that not right?
Oh, completely. And look, I've seen all the politicians getting around speaking to people because, you know, people need to know that they're supportive, they've got a voice. I mean, look, I hammed it up yesterday. I think that too many politicians, especially in the Tory party, take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And look, why not enjoy life? Why not give people hope? Why not make people smile? I don't
Absolutely.
mind taking a look at them.
What position are you playing? You don't care, do you?
I don't particularly care. No.
We love you. Dame Andrea Jenkins, thank you. Hello.
How are you doing? You okay?
Laura.
Yes.
Laura was, well, you're from where? You have to tell them, because this is brilliant. The first
member of the Welsh Parliament, Senedd.
Senedd. David Bull's running around trying to get in on the shot. Say good afternoon, sir.
Oh, good afternoon, sir. I thought I'd left you, actually. Hello.
You went off for lunch and gave me 45 minutes. Oh, look, now, you jumped in on Laura, but I need to ask you, what position's your favourite?
I like to watch.
I can't see you. I've seen you in shorts. I can't, this is...
You love me in shorts, let me just tell you. You love me in shorts.
What position? Would you be left back in the changing room?
I don't think I'm in a position to have a consideration.
You are in the boardroom. You're the chairman.
Yes,
you tick all that. You don't play.
No, I don't play, indeed. I'm the management. I'm the management.
You're above the management. You can sack the management.
I'm going to sack you.
Fantastic. Well, that invoice is getting less and less by the minute. Just very quickly, yes. How has it felt being here? The difference? I mean, you changed to reform from the Tories in the Welsh Assembly, as I said. How has it felt?
It couldn't be more different. I mean, it's incredible. It's just electric here. The atmosphere is incredible. It's so much positivity. Everyone is singing from the same song sheet. They all want the same things. It's just been incredible.
And you were brilliant on the panel, so thank you so much indeed. Graham's... Oh, there's a lady taking it. Sorry, just bring the camera. Are you... Sorry, don't get it. What's the matter? Are you all right?
Hello, yeah, I'm very well.
Terrified. You work for Laura?
So, yes.
Very nice lady. Right, Mr. Simpson, how are you? Now, listen, here's the thing. You're an experienced politician. I'm just a nobody. You walked out yesterday and you did something I've never seen. You walked out and you went, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not very funny. And then you were brilliant.
Good.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How do you feel about the T-shirt?
And somebody tweeted that I'm the Jack D of reform.
Jack D of reform. I mean, deadpan.
Deadpan.
Some would say miserable. Others would say a genius.
I'm known for it. I'm known for it.
In terms of Scotland, in terms of
this,
yeah,
I'm not sure it's big enough. I need something bigger.
We haven't got to Alex yet. The conference for you.
Yeah.
Having made that move, having felt the change, what's it been like?
It's really been good. You know, people say at conferences, oh, the atmosphere is great, and actually the atmosphere here is brilliant. Yeah. It's felt more like a rally than a conference. So I've never really seen anything like it. I mean, it really has been fantastic. And I know there's been a bit of razzmatazz, and being such a miserable guy.
You're not miserable. You're not. People would say you're stoic.
I am.
Stoicism is what.
But I've enjoyed it.
Presumably a party needs all different types of people. Graham said. And what position would you play?
I'm sorry to say I'll be left wing.
Ooh, you're quick then on your feet.
Well, I used to be.
All that. This gentleman, thank you very much indeed. The legend that is Alex Wilson, the only member of the London Assembly that's a reform candidate, a councillor, who spends his entire time trying to put down Sadiq Khan, don't you?
I do, yeah. I've been doing it since last year I was elected. At the same time, Sadiq was re-elected as mayor. There's only one of me and 24 members of all the other left-wing parties.
This man has an existence where he thinks, I mean, I can identify this, everybody hates you.
Yeah, I've got no friends in the chamber. Everyone smiles and says hello in the corridors, but once we get in the chamber, nobody will work with me. I'm very much the outsider, but it's fine. You've got to...
And when you came here, when you're here at conference and you see like-minded people rushing around doing their business, that must inspire as well.
It's brilliant. I mean, I joined Reform back end of 2020, so I've been with the party since it made that transition from Brexit Party to Reform. So I've been to every conference, and each time it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, the first conference we had probably fewer people than there have been in most of the fringe meetings here. So just the scale of where we were to where we've been, it matches, the polling, the membership, the election results we've been having. This is a party that's going places. We're looking forward to the next challenges, including the London Borough Council elections next year.
Absolutely.
Which will be really, really important for getting some voices of common sense on a lot of those councils. And then obviously as we work towards the general election where London will play a big part in that. If we have a majority in Parliament, there will be Reform MPs in London as well.
Position?
On the right wing.
God, we got a right wing, we got a left wing. They're all at it. Thank you very much indeed. Are you lot wearing your shirts or not? You're not wearing your shirts? Not yet. Right, I've got another half an hour to do. Enjoy yourselves. Come on, let's go. I'm just... Oh, right. Yeah, I've got to be really quick.
Go.
Is that all right?
Mate, we know you.
Legend. What's your name?
My name's Darryl.
Where have you come from?
I come from Canterbury. I'm the secretary of the branch in Canterbury, in the hardest constituency in Kent. If the KCC elections, what we just run for all year...
Kent County Council, I think.
Kent County Council.
See what I did there?
Yeah. If it was a general election, we would have won. We would have had someone in the Member of Parliament.
What has the last 2 days meant to you? What do you feel being here amongst people who presumably, do obviously feel the same?
Energy's fantastic. It's lovely to see everyone. I can see it rolling forward and everyone having the same views, and obviously we wanting our country back. Very emotional. Very, very emotional.
Think change is on the way?
Oh, well, it has to be.
Good. I haven't had any lunch, by the way.
Go and enjoy.
I know I'm going to do this for another half an hour. Thank you, lovely security man. See you later, kidder. So smile at the camera for me. See, he's a very nice man. Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
We'll say photographed. This is the lady. Oh, we're back again. How are you? Are you all right?
Fine. I've enlisted myself. I'm signed in to become the candidate.
We did this yesterday, so we'll have an update. You want to be the Labour mayor for?
The Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor of Liverpool.
Reform Lord Mayor of Liverpool. I will be.
That's
Not
brave.
want to, I will be.
She's full of it. What's your name?
Paula.
Paula, lovely to see you. Now I've got to go running. Nigel's gone in one direction. I'm trying. Yes. Do you want to say hello? Oh, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
What's your name?
Jasper.
Jasper.
Yeah.
How old are you?
14.
14?
Yeah.
My son's here today. He came for 4 hours. It took him to get here. Why? This is a serious point because so many people are saying that what's obvious coming to reform is the different age ranges.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Because it's my future, isn't it? So
Riley, at 14, that's good. Nobody told you that? You made your own mind up?
No, it's my decision.
Good man. Where are you from?
Only Solihull, not local.
Solihull.
Yeah, not
That's
too
very
far.
posh, Solihull. That's the part of the Midlands where they get out of the bath before they have a wee. It's true, isn't it?
No comment.
No comment. See, you could be looking at a future Prime Minister. He's 14, man. Lovely to meet you,
Yeah, you
Jasper.
too. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Hold on. This is, honestly, what's your name?
My name's Alexander. I'm Medside Coordinator.
Do you want that lady to be... You hold the mic. You speak
Said
to
it.
the camera, then. What's your name?
It's Alexander.
Well, look at the camera, then. Speak.
Okay, really great to be here, and it's really good to meet somebody who's done so much for everybody on TV.
Did my
and,
best.
Yeah, you certainly have, and good to have you back.
Well, I'm doing my best.
You are, aren't you?
60 now, mate. Have you eaten any lunch?
Yeah, I've got a hog roast. It wasn't too bad. I'd recommend that.
Lovely to meet you. Well, I'm not allowed to eat. It's not in the contract, but thank you very much indeed.
Quick photo.
Yeah, sure. I'm only on live
Branch social media.
If you put this photograph above the
Programs.
mantelpiece, it'll keep your kids away from the fire.
Plug it up.
Is that all right?
Fantastic.
You going to say anything to the camera?
Just everybody, please show your support. Speaking as a branch chair for Beaconsfield, just everyone get out. You've got to vote. Never has it meant so much to the country.
I think that's the feeling we're getting. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go walking. Oh, hold on a minute. The boss is in here.
How you doing?
Christ, how big are you? How are you?
6'6".
6'6". Where are you from?
Elected councillor in North Shropshire.
Good man, Shropshire. And as I've said to everybody, when you look around, when you see the numbers of people, the different ages, the different social demographic, does it give you real belief that the future will change?
Oh, definitely, yeah. The Liberal Democrats are in charge of Shropshire.
Who?
Liberal Democrats. And they honestly believe that we are the next party that will take over the control of Shropshire. They're looking at us now and thinking, what are you going to do in 3 years' time?
What about the critics? What are the people that would say the thing about the reform is it's a cult? People have criticised in the press this morning. They said that yesterday was too flippant, too party-based. What do you say to that?
No, I get attacked on a daily basis from the far left and stuff like that, and the Greens. And no, they're trying to pull what they can now because they're desperate, because they're looking at us and they're seeing how massive it is and how much of a big lead we got. And it's absolutely amazing. So you were going around the crowds yesterday and you were asking why are people here and stuff like that. I'm a veteran.
Good man.
22 years.
Shouldn't you be on the streets then?
Should be, but I'm not. But what I wanted to say was a lot of us, we gave the ultimate sacrifice. Thankfully, I came back alive. Many of my colleagues didn't. And this is what we came, well, not this, but what we came back to what we got now, or what we could get now. This is what we need.
Completely agree. And by the way, I should tell you all, don't forget Lucy Connolly, the lady that was jailed for 31 months for a tweet. Not that anybody condones what she said. Lucy Connolly is going to be on that stage before Richard Tice. You're going to get back in the main hall. Big man, thank you very much indeed. Look at this, Union Jack. I've spotted my own son, who's now trying to hide from me interviewing him. I say good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. I'm good.
Now, we're on camera. We're on telly. What's your name?
My name's Peter Colley. I'm a councillor from Hertfordshire. I won a division in Bedwell in Stevenage that's been a Labour stronghold since 1972, and they weren't best pleased.
Good man. Are you in fear of being arrested by the police for wearing a Union Jack? I mean, I'm worried about... Oh, it's all getting worse. Why haven't you been arrested yet?
Because I'm English and we're in England. And that's what we need to do. We need to fly our flags.
Just speaking to Nigel there with the shirts, all the team had shirts, just speaking to him, and he was saying it's an incredibly inspiring moment for him. And if you look at where Reform was 12 months ago and where it is now, a seismic difference.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's gonna carry on blowing up as well. We are a party of common sense, and that's what we need in British politics. If you look at everything that's going wrong in this country, it's because people don't understand what they're doing. They're not real people. If you look around this hall today, you will see people of every demographic. And that's what we need in a party. You need people that have lived a life and have actually lived on a council estate, not just pretend to live on a council estate.
Well, yesterday we had somebody who was born on a council estate and worked their way up to the office of Deputy Prime Minister and had to resign. What did you make? What did you make of that yesterday?
I just want the tax office to let me off of 40 grand when I bought my house as well, but they didn't. I had to pay my stamp duties.
A lot of people were saying that the right-wing media piled in on Angela Rayner unfairly.
Didn't she do exactly the same thing against Conservatives when she was standing on the opposition bench?
They said to me, when you become a television or radio presenter, if you ask questions that you want a specific answer to and you ask it correctly, you get the answer. What did you just say? I was a bit confused there.
Angela Rayner had a habit of having a go at Conservatives that she said were doing things wrong, and now everybody in the Labour Party is doing the same things wrong, and they're going to get worse.
I love the app. Why have you got a bag with bananas?
Because...
Slightly, but can we look at the banana bag?
But what I want you to do...
Oh, God, he's going to give me something now.
I will give you a letter to, proving this. This is a dole that we're trying to get out because we want to use it to give money to children who have suffered sexual physical abuse or have lost a parent. But we're also going to try and get it so that we can give the money from it to the village that we're setting up for veterans.
It's an amazing thing. I'm going to give it to a friend of mine who's behind giving some money to Reform and believes in it, all right? I promise you.
I will give you another one because this one's special. My mum makes these, and we started off doing it for biker charities, and it's sort of blossomed.
Yeah.
And now my mum needs to live to 165 and grow 8 pairs of octopus arms because you can't knit fast enough.
That is fair enough. Listen, there'll be a man over there, that lady there at the moment, they'll do that. I've got to move on, but thank you.
Jeremy, have a good day.
Really, really nice to meet you. The man's wearing a Union Jack suit and he's all right. Where are we going? I love the fact, right? Let's go. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to try Harry again. Now, Harry was the man selling the merchandise yesterday. And when I said to him, what do you think number 10... Oh, he's not here. Devoed. Hold on. Is he there? Let's have a look. No, he's not here. Yesterday I said to Harry, I went, why do you think it's got number 10 on it? And he went, is he going to play striker? And I went, I think you missed the point. I said, oh, there's a... Are you all right, sir? You're staring at the camera. In auto or manual? I don't know what that means. We're going walking. Let's go walking. Let's go walking round the town. Oh, hello. I'm gonna go searching for some people. Come with me. You're absolutely fine. There's a man. I don't care. Oh, sorry. Do come here. Don't go in that way. We don't want that. Come here, my friend.
You're right, how are you?
How are you, Morris?
Yes.
Morris Eglin.
Eglin from Reform.
Morris is from. I wish you could see what's going on. There's a technical man, right? Basically playing with the side of the camera. Now he's disappeared now.
He's legged it now.
Morris, how are we?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Where are you from?
Northamptonshire.
Somebody's got to be. It's not funny. So on a serious note, councillor, just support or what?
I'm a councillor.
Okay.
And I'm a massive supporter of what Nigel's been trying to do.
What do you see as the future? You've been here, you've walked around, you've felt the vibe, I suspect.
This is the first time I've been to a political conference.
Is it actually, yeah? And me?
And I've never been involved with anything before, so from what I'm hearing, the environment here is completely different to every other party conference in history.
Why did you feel it necessary to come, do you think?
Because we've got to show a force. Because everyone's so worn out and politically tired of all the rubbish, what's been going on across the nation. We need to stand up and be accountable for what we need to happen in this country.
What do you say to... I mean, there were many press articles this morning. One said that David Bull and I should do panto together as the two ugly sisters.
Oh,
listen,
yeah, I would pay to watch that.
Would you? Yeah, that's water off a duck's back when you're Jeremy Carr. But on a serious note, what do you say to the detractors? People have been saying this morning they're not a serious party, it's all glamour and glitz and sequins and that. What do you say? Because Nigel said, and I quote, we want to try and put a bit of fun back into it, invest in people and get people to come out and actually feel something.
If you look at last night's after party with the Jacksons on...
I wasn't there, by the way.
Oh, do you want a violin?
No, I couldn't be there because I don't drink.
Oh, well, I don't normally either, but no. It was the best environment. I've never seen anything like that or heard of it in a political party where we're out there drinking, having fun, dancing to the Jacksons.
Well, and was the dancing good? Do you want to give us a little soupçon of what the dancing was like?
No, I've got 2 left feet, it's fine.
Have you? Good man. I was going to say give me a round of applause. We haven't got an audience. Thank you very much indeed. There's a lovely lady. Hello, darling. I'm knackered.
Can we have a picture?
Oh, we can have a picture,
Let me get
love.
me camera
You're
out.
I'm
I've just
sweating
seen
like
Mike.
Oh, my God, Ricky Tomlinson's turned up. Jesus, we'll be there in a minute. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
What's your name?
thank you. My name's Corinne.
Look at that. Hold on a minute. Ricky Tomlinson on the show in a minute. Look at him. All right, we're trying to deal with this lady, you two. Stop hogging the limelight.
Oh.
So where are you from?
I'm from near Romford.
Near Romford. Great dog track.
Absolutely.
Do you know the most famous resident of Romford? Steve Davis, the snooker player.
I've met him.
Have you? Was it interesting? He's not very interesting, apparently.
No,
That's his
no. I met him at a Romford train station.
Did you?
I saw him
Nice.
about-
In about a year, are you going to say I met that Jeremy Kyle? He was as boring as hell as well.
I'm going to say what a wonderful man he is.
Pay her to say.
Can you believe that?
No, nobody's ever said that. So,
I'm great, and I watch you all the time.
Oh, good. Thank you. Why here? Why now? Why is reform so important to you, sweetheart?
Right, because I've been around. I'm 61 years old. I'm not
61.
I'm not 60. I'm 61.
I don't like being 60.
No, neither do I. It's very depressing. But anyway, no. Basically, I come from a large family, and I've seen the degradation. I've seen how our life has changed, and I absolutely hate what this country's become. And I've got loads, but as I said, I've got a big family, lots of nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews, and I just want to see a better future for them.
Is Nigel Farage and Reform the Party to give you that?
I'm very much hoping so, and I do believe this is our final hope.
Interesting. Can we have a just keep your camera on? Don't go to Ricky Tomlinson yet. Should we have a photo? Do you know how to do it?
I do know how to do it.
It's going very well so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you're very on it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart. Is that all right?
Lovely.
Oh. We should have shot down. Our necks look a bit. There we go. Lovely to meet you. Take care. Lovely lady. Look after. I don't know if anybody remembers. The most extraordinary thing is my son, who we're not going to film you. Don't worry. He's absolutely terrified. I'm going to go to him. Sir, David Fitzgerald, aka Ricky Tomlinson, in the building. How are you, son?
I'm fine.
Actually, you wouldn't be in the building because Ricky Tomlinson's a right lefty, isn't he?
I believe he is. Yeah.
You haven't been arrested. We've spoken to your good friend. These are fantastic. Who made them?
Super Amazon.
Amazon. They should pay more tax, shouldn't they?
Definitely.
I'm only joking. I'm not getting involved. Really interesting. All sorts of people in this conference over the last 2 days. Age ranges, all sorts of people. What does it mean to you? How do you... I mean, you're presumably a very patriotic person.
Always. I served in the military for 17 years, just under. If you want the exact date, it was 16 years, 232 days. Royal Corps Transport. Made the rank of Staff Sergeant, senior SEO. I did serve during the Gulf War on the lovely island of Cyprus. I don't like what's happened to our country.
I, without going into details, was telling a story yesterday that where I live on the coast, on a Saturday, the last 3 Saturdays I've got, you get sent by the wife to do whatever. And there's a veteran, and he tells me every week, it's 15 years, right? It's a factual story, it's not political. And he's sat begging. He was in housed accommodation, which he's been taken out of so that other people can move in. And you look at that and you go, whatever your politics, you go, that can't be right. If you've given yourself and your life and everything about you for so long to a country, why am I not getting anything back? That, for me, being here the last couple of days is the real issue, because people are saying, we've lived our lives correctly, and frankly, why are we at the back of the queue, right?
It's the same thing as the guys who served on odd banner tours in Northern Ireland, being hounded for doing the job during the height of the trawls, protecting the civilian population, and now they're being hounded by this government. It's wrong.
Do you think Nigel and Reform are the answer?
At this moment in time, yes.
Good man. And you two friends, do you go out like this? Because I guess you're both single if you go out dressed like this.
The thing is, we're both veterans. It doesn't matter what badge, what arm of the services you
Sorry, can I stop you there, right? Because you're both ex-servicemen, right?
Correct.
And I need some help, because I cannot believe who's infiltrated this bloody conference. Have a look. He's back. Starmer's back, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Jeremy, I'm here to learn how to run a country. I'm going to do a U-turn.
Do you ever remember?
I'm here to see whether or not Reform will accept me. Can I please rejoin?
No, you need to.
My ears need waxing.
Your ears need waxing. We can't take you seriously.
Sorry, buddy.
Here we are. Kid. Anybody else want to wear this?
He's nearly as big an imposter.
No! 5, 4, 3. We spoke to you yesterday. Haven't had your ears done. Amazing atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely, Jeremy. It's fantastic. The people are talking to me, and these gentlemen here, we've had a great time. And I'll tell you what, by doing what we're doing, it's bringing people together, which is what we need.
I must say to everybody who doesn't know that Lucy Connolly, the lady who was jailed for 31 months, as you know, for the tweets, not that anybody condones that, is going to be live on the main stage at about 3 o'clock ahead of Richard Tice and Nigel Farage. So you need to get back there because Lucy Connolly, it's her first conference. And this is a woman who I think probably began the debate that is raging across the UK. Well, anyway,
Jeremy,
Keir, you go back to London. You've got no friends here, have you?
I've got plenty, Jeremy.
Now you know what it feels like to be Jeremy Carr. Get out of here, what?
I'll talk to you then.
Good man. Good luck in prison. Oh no, it'll ruin me hair. All right, hold on.
Put on. Go there you go. No, take that away. Take that away.
Good. Thank you very much. Yeah, give it to my man. Right, where are we going? Oh, I'm being pushed. Alan Feeney.
How are you? No, we've come to make an announcement. Before we grab a hold of it. Myself, Councillor Michael Gough, Councillor Samantha Gethin.
Which council?
Well, this is it. We are now officially, here and now, the first 3 Solihull Borough Councillors for Reform UK. You heard it here first.
Well done. When did that happen? Hey, round of applause. Solihull Councillors.
About 10 seconds ago.
What you want?
No. We have joined.
We're independent councillors and we've come over to reform.
Did you, sorry, people, the tech boys with chips, did you hear this? These people have just defected from independent councillors to Tory councillors in the Solihull Council in the last...
Tory, not to Tory, to reform, Jeremy.
Did I say Tory?
You did.
Never mind.
I haven't had any lunch. It plays havoc with my brain.
This is Solihull.
Yeah, they are. Solihull, it's a posh part of Birmingham, if there is any posh part of Birmingham. Why would be the question. Get out. Why? Don't start. On a serious note, let's start with you. Why? Why have you moved over to reform?
Because we need hope, and reform gives us hope.
Do you expect a political reaction from your decision?
Absolutely. Reform is the place at the moment which is speaking for the people of this country, and the people need to be heard, and for us that starts here right now in Solihull.
It's really interesting. If you are watching this in the main auditorium or on the screens, Alan Feeney, Michael Gough, Samantha Gethin in the last minutes have changed from independent candidates in the Solihull Council and have moved over to reform. And Alan, just sum up how difficult, well not how difficult, what that means. When you're representing people, do you have to get their permission or have you made that decision yourself?
We've responded to what people have been asking us to do. When we went independent, the one resounding message we were getting, go reform, it's the last chance for this country. We want to actually get Britain working again, making Britain proud of itself again, and we're proud to do what our residents have asked us to do.
Give me a round of applause for Solihull, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, see you later. Right, where's the cheeky man in the grey suit? Come on. You're not drinking beer, are you?
No, we're not. No.
No, I can't drink. I don't drink. I can't. What's your name, sir?
My name's Gary.
Wait. Gary. Yeah. Where you? It's got gin in there.
By the way.
Who is?
Gary's.
Why?
Because nobody's calling their babies.
Imagine being called Jeremy. That's really crap. No, Gary's not great, but Jeremy's awful, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Jeremy. That's it, Jeremy Bear on the front of the Sugar Puffs advert. That's about it. I thought it was Nadine Dorries for a moment in the blue. Have a look. No, it's not. Right. Gary, where are you from?
Sutton Coldfield.
Oh.
Royal Sutton Coldfield.
Well, councillor or just a supporter?
A supporter at the moment, yeah.
And what have you made of the conference? I've been running around for 2 days, and I have to say that the different ages, the different demographic is a real inspiration, I think, for many.
It is. What a breath of fresh air. What a breath of fresh air for this country. I'm hearing all the right things. I'm meeting all the right people, and I think reform has got it. What it takes.
And you're friends with this man who thinks it's all right to drink at lunchtime?
I am, yes.
Hold on a sec. Matt Roscoe thinks it's all right to drink on a Saturday at lunchtime. What do you do, sir?
Well, I'm hoping to be a councillor next year. We've got elections in Birmingham and sort of Coalfield, so yeah, fingers crossed.
What's the vibe in Birmingham for reform, do you think?
You know what? It's really positive. There's loads of areas. I mean, you see all the flags that are up now. You know, Sutton, they're up in.
You can't put a flag up, can you, without being arrested? Oh my God!
So sorry.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Lembit Opic's in the house. Are you changed parties again, man?
What do you mean again? Still, you know, I go where the money is. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm 60 years of age now. Still,
same here.
Still doing this madness.
But it suits you.
Have you moved to Reform?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. No, I stayed here, and Reform came to where I was. They moved the entire party so that I could join it. Yeah.
Just being here for the last 2 days, I've said it's been really interesting looking across the different demographics. There's a real feeling, I think, of hope. What's your take on it?
Exactly the same. I'd given up on politics because I couldn't see any party that represented me. And fair play to Nigel. He's exactly the same off stage as on stage. You know him well.
Absolutely, I do.
That's the difference, you know.
I said the other day that I think a lot of politicians, and this isn't aimed at anybody, I think a lot of politicians enter politics and they purport to be perfect or squeaky clean. That's not ever possible, is it? And actually, I think the British people aren't bothered about that. I think the British people want answers and they want solutions.
Totally agree. I think this is the perfect party for imperfect people. We're all imperfect.
Are you going to stand?
Probably, but I'm not sure where. Whatever Nigel thinks is best. Really, I do training. I train people, and I've made every mistake in the book in politics, and I want to make sure this party doesn't make those same mistakes.
And what was the best thing about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is there are vicious rumours that I'm going on it this year.
Yes.
I'm not.
Oh, yeah, well, he's obviously going to go
I'm genuinely not. I'm not. Never. Can you... really?
You'd love it.
No, I wouldn't. I might like the money.
The best thing is the diet. The money's not bad. The best thing is the diet. You just lose weight. I've got all this. You don't need to lose weight, though.
Precisely why I'm not doing it. The legend that is Lembit Opit. Thank you very much indeed.
Good to see you, yeah.
He's going to stand for Reform. Come for me. Right. Oh, hold on.
New Lancashire County Council.
New Lancashire County Council.
And he's never been interviewed before.
Leon... Well, you haven't been interviewed. You're a county councillor. How did you manage to do that, then?
Skill.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. I was saying it's a really interesting vibe in this hall. Never been to a party conference myself before, but this doesn't feel like I sort of believed it would feel.
Well, the other parties are very stale.
Yeah.
Reform's not.
Have you been inspired by being here?
Yes, as the last April one as well, for the campaign launch. That was electric. This one is even better. It's got loads of stalls about, lots of information that's new to us all.
Have you had food?
Barely.
Everybody has had food.
It's like a wedding day. It's like a wedding day
here, isn't it? Whereabouts are you from?
Liverpool.
Whereabouts?
So I'm in Lancashire now, but I was born in Liverpool.
Whereabouts?
Kensington.
Kensington?
Yeah, I moved to Novice Green.
That's quite posh there. Listen, good luck with your job. Leon Graham, a Scouser, who's a councillor in where?
West Lancashire West.
Aspirations to continue to climb the political ladder?
If it takes me, then yes. There's something on the horizon, possibly, but for now, I'm focused on the residents and getting what's better for them.
Good man. Fantastic. That's what Reform's all about. Thank you very much indeed. Might need to buy the blue tie. Just say purple. Purple.
I thought it stands out a bit.
You need to do what this man. Got 4 minutes for anybody who's thinking, how long is this crap going on for? 4 minutes. Who am I after now? Right, hold on, come with me. Honestly, I feel like I have to go where I'm told. Hello?
Hello.
George, how are you?
I'm the leader of Warwickshire County.
Come with me, Georgie, over here. Away from all the people.
I haven't got a T-shirt yet.
Did you not get one?
No, I haven't got my name on one yet.
Nigel, I'm going to do... The reason I've come over here is there's a slight heighter thing and I don't look so small against you. How old are you?
19.
I've been dying to meet you, right? And I mean that, because all the critics of Reform would say, and you know what I'm going to say to you, that you are the embodiment of how they can say inexperienced, hasn't lived life. What do you say to that?
Well, I say it in all interviews. There's only 3 qualifications you need to be council leader. You need the confidence of the people to vote you in, and then you need the confidence of the group to vote you in as the group leader. Then you need the confidence of the council to vote you in as the council leader. I've got all of those 3 things, so I'm fully qualified.
In terms of aesthetics, because I've been in television 30 years, you're the leader of Reform's council in Warwickshire, and you're wearing a red tie. Did you think about that at all this morning? I'm just pointing it out in a nice way.
Yeah, no, a lot of my councillors give me stick about that. I'll be honest.
It's the wrong colour.
It's a lovely colour. I know it's not the right party, but it goes well with this suit.
Listen, you look great. We haven't got long left, unfortunately, for the people. Well, no, not fortunately, I'd imagine. The last 2 days for me have been really interesting to see the age range, to see the demographics socially, and to sort of witness what I think a lot of people are saying, which is there's real hope.
Yeah, last year it was a lot smaller. There weren't as
How small was it last year?
It was only, we didn't have all this. It was only the bottom bit down there. It was so small, but to see that we've had 10,000 people over 2 days. From all
I know, I've interviewed most of them.
You're shattered. My feet are killing. But the point is, there's so many new people here, so many young people as well, and they come up to me and go, I want to be candidates and all sorts. It's great.
I apparently have to finish. George Finch, you're a legend. What?
Keep going.
Oh, I've got to fill. Right, that means finish. That means... So, Katie, by the way, can I just say this publicly? Katie has been a legend and deserves to be paid a huge amount of money. George Finch, we've now got to fill again. Come here. What's your message to people who... What about the cynics to reform? I mean, after yesterday, the debacle with the current government, reform, Nigel, there was criticism in the press this morning that it was too glitzy, it was too camp, it was too fun. What would you say to that?
I think, look, we've become from 14% in the polls last year to 35%, having 10,000 people over 2 days. That's what this is about. This is a party of future government. Whether that's 2027 or 29, prefer it to be 27.
Well, that was what happened yesterday, of course. Nigel, in his speech, said he was almost putting his party on a war footing and saying, I mean, we all remember what happened to Liz Truss's government, and when the gilt bond markets decide that you're not financially viable, they'll pull the plug. You could argue that this government financially is an even bigger hole.
It could lead to the IMF.
I don't think the IMF have got any money. Right, I'm just going to do this because I'm an honest man, right? I've just been told 2 minutes, right? Okay, crack on.
I think, if the government asked the IMF for a bailout...
I don't think the IMF can afford it.
Well, the thing is, it's the problem with this government, is they're so economically inept that what they need to do is call for a general election, have Reform UK in government.
Well, they're not going to, because presumably there will be a fear that might happen. But for the people here and the people watching the live stream, what is your message to people? What about the critics, the people who go, they don't know what they're doing, they're new, they're inexperienced. You're only 19. What would your message be?
I just think that especially the press, they just need to get on with something else. They're too busy looking. Do you know what it is? They want to stop our success. It's too late. The game's over. I was talking to the Tory, one of the Tory councillors in Warwickshire. He phoned me up worried. He said, it's done. It's finished. I don't have to campaign on anything. I've lost my seat. The Labour have lost it. Everyone's lost it. It's done. It's finished. Game over.
And for you, politically, aspirations higher than this? You want to be an MP one day?
I think one
of Nigel's newbies. No, that's a new thing I just came up with.
No, I think what I want, what I need to do is we need to...
What the hell was that?
No, we're getting there. But my point goes...
Got to finish now.
Yeah, we're going to finish. I'm going to be the leader of Warwickshire County Council until we finish getting a better deal for the people of Warwickshire.
Good man, George Finch, the youngest Reform County Council leader in Warwickshire. That has been 48 minutes of non-stop madness. It's 2:15. This is Reform UK, the conference 2025. Don't forget Lucy Connolly on the way. Dr. David Bull is next.
Walk on, walk on.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And welcome to day 2 of the 2025 Reform Party Conference here at the NEC in Birmingham. Please now welcome your host and chairman of Reform UK, Dr. David Bull.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive my friend, the voiceover friend there. He's a very good friend of mine called Mitch. He's called Showbiz Mitch, and he's clearly been drinking wine because he thinks it's the morning. Welcome back to an extremely packed and busy Reform Party conference. Thank you also. And can you just put your hands together for JK for holding the fort over lunch? Now, literally everyone in this country is talking about how this conference is changing the future of Britain and how we are going to become the party of government at the next election. Since yesterday, Let me just tell you, since yesterday, thousands more members have joined Reform UK. And there you are, 241,912 people. That means that thousands of people are flocking to Reform UK because we are the best, the brightest party, and so therefore we're doing pretty well, actually. At Reform UK, we pride ourselves in ensuring that we pick the best and the brightest to represent the British people at local, mayoral and parliamentary level. Let me tell you, it's crucial we draw on the wealth of experience that candidates have to offer outside of politics. And this is something I am extremely passionate about. And that brings me rather nicely to our next speaker, who has had quite a journey. She worked as a magistrate for 2 decades before becoming a councillor and then mayor for Cheshire East. She ran in the parliamentary by-election for Runcorn and Helsby, where I first met her, and I campaigned with her as well. And let me tell you, I am delighted to say she won that hard-fought election by, wait for this, 6 votes. She is a wonderful person. She is an incredibly hard worker. She is a huge asset to this party. Before I introduce her, let's remind ourselves of her story.
It's been such a privilege to have been elected as the Reform Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby. And I will spend the next 4.5 years working as hard as I can to make sure all of the constituents, no matter how they voted, have improvements in their lives. Whatever it is that they need help with, I am there. The reason I joined Reform was because Reform stands for everything that I believe in, and that is family values, it is community values, and it is, of course, being so proud in this great country of ours. And I believe we should be able to shout loudly about that, to fly our Union Jacks. Only a Reform government will reclaim sovereignty for this country, will reclaim control over our borders. Only a Reform government will take back some of the power that our judicial system has. It's become politicised. Only a Reform government will restore our own energy supplies, making costs to businesses lower. These are all the things that people need to get more money in their pocket, for businesses to flourish, for the economy to be strong. These policies are all going to be in our manifesto, but this is the next step towards becoming the next government of the United Kingdom.
Please welcome to the stage Reform UK Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby, Sarah Poachin.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Hello, conference. It is an honour and a privilege to be standing here today as the first female Reform Member of Parliament. It's also an honour and a privilege to now be in a position where I can iron Lee Anderson's shirts. He makes such a hash of it. I walked past his office. I said, "Give me the iron, Lee." He was just hopeless. So, and sleeves first, everybody out there. There's a big national debate going on now. But I cannot thank the people of Runcorn, Frodsham and Helsby enough for putting their trust in me on that historic night in May and electing me as their voice. Someone who will stand up for those that have been so ignored by Labour, by the Tories for years. And in 4 short months, I hope that I've done more to put Runcorn and Helsby on the map than any Labour politician has ever done in their previously unbroken reign. My constituents will always be my priority. And in return, I would quite like a 6,000 vote majority next time, not a mere 6. That was a bit close. Although it made for some good headlines, and so many people come up to me and tell me that those 6 votes were their doing, including Nigel, by the way. Nigel was the last one in from door knocking that day, and he tells me that he won that election with the 6 votes. But more by-elections will come before the next general election, and we will win each and every one of them. We will win those elections with real people who have real life experience, who speak from the heart, and who believe in this country above all else. Before becoming the Member of Parliament for Runcorn and Helsby, I had a career in business, something that the Labour front bench can't claim. I was an elected borough councillor, and I was a magistrate. I've been married for 30 years, and I'm a mother of 2 gorgeous grown-up boys. My life has been turned upside down, changed beyond all recognition, as you can imagine, in the last 4 months. And with that recognition comes risk. The Reform politicians say things that other politicians are not brave enough to say. And with that risk comes security, which I now need, which is weird, although my chief of staff does tell me life would be a lot simpler on the security front if I just walked around everywhere head to toe in a burqa. Sorry. I would make sure it was a turquoise burqa. You can get them, you know, on Amazon. I checked. I did actually want to walk on in one, but Richard Tice said no. He's very sensible. But this life experience has given me, I hope, the insight and the compassion a good politician needs to understand the things that honest, hard-working people really care about. We are a party who will stand up for the issues that most concern the British people: housing, jobs, immigration, public safety, the money in your pocket, and national security. Unlike this government and the last, when we are in government, we will put the interests of the British people ahead of foreign nationals and spend your hard-earned taxpayers' money accordingly. Our new deportation plan is entirely proportionate to the national emergency we face. We are being invaded, and the British people have had enough. Only Reform has the stomach to take radical, uncompromising action, because we care about the British people and what is happening to our country and our culture. We care about parents just trying to do the very best for their children. And we care about those children, their safety, their education, and their welfare. We care about our farmers. We will remove the inheritance tax on family-run farms. That tax that threatens the very future of our farming community. Today, we are launching Farmers for Reform, and there are people outside in the village with turquoise clipboards that will take your details if you're interested in that. But we're launching some interest groups today, and Farmers for Reform is one of them. But we care also about our veterans. We will not let them be prosecuted for simply following orders. We are also launching Veterans for Reform today. We care about our pensioners. We will not let them freeze over the winter. We care about nature and the environment, but at the same time, we will ensure our own energy security by using our own oil, gas, and coal to feed the supply chain. Reducing energy costs to business, because we care about business. We will support small and medium-sized businesses by abolishing business rates on our high streets to support the regeneration of our town centres. We care about a jobs market based on merit. We will put an end to diversity hires. The promotion of individuals because of their collective identity or background is an unacceptable incursion on freedom and meritocracy. Organisations must be able to hire the best person for the job, no matter their sexual preference or the colour of their skin. We care about protecting free speech, but this government is hell-bent on suppressing it. The new Online Safety Act does nothing to protect our children, as the name suggests. It is designed to stop you and me from speaking out. This government is more interested in policing our speech than our borders. When Reform is in government, we will repeal this so-called Online Safety Act because we must fight to keep democracy. Governments are here to serve the liberties of the people, not restrict them. And what of this government's latest Islamophobia definition? We could be prosecuted for saying anything critical of Islam. Whilst we respect other religions, we are fundamentally a Christian country. Are we going to find ourselves arrested and thrown into jail by this new elite police force that this government has set up to monitor our speech, our debate, our views? Well, I will see you in jail because I will never be silenced as I speak up for you and this country. We care about the safety of women and girls. I constantly speak out on this issue and highlight the disproportionate but very real threat faced by us from the invasion of illegal migrants, many of whom hold medieval attitudes towards women and girls. Rape and sexual assault cases have risen dramatically over the last 20 years in this country, in line with the rise of foreign nationals now living in our communities. Women and girls, often very young girls, are being targeted. And however inconvenient that might be for the left to accept, The reality is that it is happening in our communities up and down this country. Let us not pretend we are facing anything other than a national security crisis. This government is giving a platform to those that want to see our society changed beyond all recognition. This summer has seen protests up and down the country. Many of those protesting are mothers frightened for the safety of their daughters. Well, the British people are slow to anger, but we have been ignored for too long. And a government that defies the will of its people is a government that will fall. Only a reform government with our deportation policy of identify, detain, deport will remove illegal migrants and protect our women and girls. I will continue to be a champion for women's safety. Every woman has the right to feel safe at home, at work, and on our streets. On Reform's watch, a biological male prisoner will never serve time in a woman's prison. Reform will never sanction biological males inhabiting women's spaces, and Reform will not allow the early release of domestic violence perpetrators. And we care about crime. We have this summer undertaken our Britain is Lawless campaign with key policies that a Reform government would introduce to restore law and order in this country. Because we are allowing our high streets to be overrun with organised crime. Trading standards teams need to be empowered to shut down these crime hotspots. Turkish barbers, nail bars, vape shops, staffed by a ready supply of migrant workers. Furthermore, we should be prosecuting the landlords that knowingly allow this crime to go on in their properties. After 20 years, I would like to now turn to the courts. After 20 years working in the courts, I speak with experience about the urgent reforms that our judicial system needs to restore the trust of the British people. Our judiciary is now far too powerful, with the ability to actively work to their own agenda, undermining attempts to remove those arriving here illegally, or indeed override the legitimate concerns of local people, as we saw in the recent Epping ruling. The industry of left-wing human rights lawyers will be no more once we leave the ECHR. and repeal the Human Rights Act, both necessary and proportionate steps to reset this country. Enough of two-tier justice, where someone who writes an ill-advised tweet goes straight to prison, whilst an illegal migrant who sexually assaulted a vulnerable teenage girl gets less than half of that time, or a paedophile gets a suspended sentence and is free to roam the streets. We need to address the failing prison service, whether that be overcrowding or lack of training and equipment for our prison officers, because our prisons are dangerous places to work and to reside. But we will not tackle the prison overcrowding by releasing criminals early onto our streets, putting the safety of the public at risk. Instead, we will deport all foreign national offenders from our prisons. And we will build Nightingale prisons in the same way we built Nightingale hospitals during the pandemic. We can do this. It's about the will of the government to do it. Turning to the police, we need to restore the confidence and trust of the British people in our police force, because we need to know that when we report a crime, it will be taken seriously by the police, and that no crime is too small to be investigated. We have had enough of police ignoring shoplifting at a cost of millions to business, enough of police no longer using stop and search to tackle knife crime, because we know how effective this policy is, and we will bring it back with a vengeance. And we have had enough of woke policing, police appearing to sympathise with protest groups that simply do not reflect the views of the majority of the British people. But I am sure that the police themselves would like nothing more than to get back to tackling crime, policing with impartiality, and to protecting the British people. A reform government will address these issues and restore a strong police presence on our streets. Whether it's the judicial system, the prison service, the probation service, or the police, reform will have robust and costed policies on each in our manifesto. So, to conclude conference, your reform politicians are real, we are fearless, and we love this country. We will take back control of our borders, regaining our sovereignty. We will deport all illegal migrants to their country of origin. We will restore law and order to our streets. We will reinstate free speech. And we will proudly fly the Union Jack from all government buildings and public buildings. Britain, under a reform government, under Nigel's premiership, and based on our principles of family, community, and country, will be great again. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a consultant cardiologist, and quite frankly, he is a brilliant clinician. He is a vociferous public health campaigner and says he is on a mission to save lives with real evidence-based medicine and real food. He's worked tirelessly against excessive sugar consumption and the overuse of prescription medicines, particularly statins. Now, I know this chap because he worked with me to write Reform UK's health policy. From that, he's currently helping to advise RFK Jr. and the Make America Healthy Action Group. And today, ladies and gentlemen, he is here to tell us how we make Britain healthy again. Please welcome Dr. Aseem Malhotra.
To be here, to Nigel and Reform for inviting me to speak today. Ancient wisdom teaches us that evil is rooted in ignorance. But what's worse than ignorance? The illusion of knowledge. That means that barriers to the truth are often more psychological than they are intellectual. My purpose as a doctor is to do my best for patients, to improve their outcomes. And in fact, this is probably maybe the most important slide of my whole talk. Please feel free to take a picture of it. If you understand this, everything falls into place. This is the evidence-based medicine triad. Developed in 1996, an analytical framework for teaching and practicing medicine. So what does it mean? We use our individual clinical expertise, the best available evidence on a drug treatment, on a lifestyle intervention, on a surgery, on a test, and last but not least, most important, to take into consideration individual patient preferences and values. It's called informed consent. In order to manage risks, treat illness, and relieve suffering. But unfortunately, evidence-based medicine has become an illusion. It has become hijacked by powerful commercial interests. And as a result, we have an epidemic of misinformed doctors and misinformed and unwittingly harmed patients. This is the root cause of our healthcare crisis. What are those root causes? Biased funding of research. Research that's funded because it's likely to be profitable, not beneficial for patients. Biased reporting in medical journals. Biased reporting in the media, biased patient pamphlets, commercial conflicts of interest, defensive medicine, and last but not least, an inability of doctors to understand and then communicate health statistics. Somebody who I describe as a Stephen Hawking of medicine is Professor John Ioannidis at Stanford. The reason I call him the Stephen Hawking of medicine, he's the most cited medical researcher in the world. He's considered to have very high integrity. And in 2017, he published this paper called How to Survive the Medical Misinformation Mess. And he makes the point that 20 to 50% of all healthcare activity in the United States brings no benefit to the patient, is wasteful or harmful. That's quite extraordinary. Why? Again, he reiterates the fact that most published research is unreliable, offers no benefit to patients, and is not useful to decision makers. But why does this persist? Because most doctors don't know that. Medical knowledge is under commercial control, but most doctors and healthcare professionals are unaware of it. And then they lack the skills to be able to understand and critically appraise the reliability of medical evidence. And last but not least, most importantly, patients and families then get inaccurate medical information and therefore cannot make decisions that are going to be important for their health outcomes. Now, there's something really important for people to understand. And I spoke in 2018 in the European Parliament, invited at that point by MEP Nathan Gill. And I made a few very important statements that everybody needs to acknowledge. The pharmaceutical industry have a legal responsibility to provide profit for their shareholders. They do not have a legal requirement to give us the best treatment, even though most of us would like or presume that to be the case. But the real scandals are these. Those who have a responsibility to integrity and patient care, doctors, academic institutions, and medical journals, regulators collude with industry for financial gain. And in 2018, I said the situation has become so dire that honest doctors can no longer practice honest medicine. This is pre-pandemic. At the end of 2022, and a lot of you may know my story anyway. I published a paper in the Journal of Industry that says peer-reviewed, still stands up to scrutiny, and I basically called for a moratorium on the COVID mRNA vaccines. And I won't bore you with lots of data. I'm going to give you just one particular study that's most important for you to realize. But the reason I bring this up is after I published this paper, the only broadcast media at the time that was willing to talk about it and get me on and report on it as a news story was GB News. So thank you, GB News, by the way, for standing up for free speech. And as soon as I walked out of the studio, I was pleasantly surprised to receive a phone call from Robert Kennedy Jr. And he said, Dr. Malhotra, I want to thank you for your courage. And that's how our relationship, our friendship, our working relationship started. And he listened to me, and I basically essentially gave the whole root cause analysis of the healthcare crisis and exactly why we should pull the COVID mRNA vaccine. So let's get on to that briefly. Now, we talk about levels of evidence, but in the highest quality level of evidence and real-world data, what patients need to understand is what benefit is a drug or intervention going to give them, and what are the absolute harms. And I'm citing here, by the way, what's interesting, the UK, and all credit to the UK for this, is the only country in the world, now it's not been well publicized, that has been transparent, the UK HSA, with the benefits of the COVID vaccine. At the beginning of 2023, it might be difficult to read, but I'm just going to explain it to you. At the beginning of 2023, if you were over 70, you had to vaccinate 2,500 people to prevent one hospitalization with COVID. As soon as you get into the under 50s age group, you're talking about hundreds of thousands. That was the beginning of 2023. Right now, the latest data, even for the highest risk, if you're over 90, is you have to vaccinate 7,000 people over the age of 90 to prevent one of them having a hospitalization with severe COVID. Now, if this wasn't such a serious issue, this would be laughable. We're having debates and discussions prior to this about statins, about people not being told that if you're at low risk of a heart attack, your benefit of a statin at best is 1%. That is where the debate has happened. This is thousands of people, right? Okay, if there was no harm, you can make the case for let's give it to everybody and we'll save some lives. But unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth. A reanalysis of Pfizer and Moderna's trials, published in the Journal of Vaccine by some of the most eminent independent of industry-influenced scientists in the world, including the associate editor of the BMJ, Peter Doshi, revealed that from the very beginning, the rate of harm from the original trials of Pfizer and Moderna reanalyzed, you were 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer serious harm from taking the COVID vaccine than you were to be hospitalized with COVID. Think about that for a second. What does that mean? It is highly likely not a single person should have been injected with this, what is better described as a gene therapy than as a vaccine. Now, this isn't the only bit of data. Lots of data has emerged since then. And as you've probably heard a few weeks ago, Robert Kennedy Jr., and I've been in constant communication with him, has ended in $500 million worth of investments in the mRNA technology for vaccines, which is a great achievement, I think, for him to do that. His chief medical officer, Stephen Hatfill, told Steve Bannon, he was involved in this, he called it a mega-analysis of all the data, hundreds of studies, peer-reviewed studies showing the harms of the mRNA vaccine, and he said the side effects of this gene therapy was so enormous and progressive, it was difficult to fathom. The millions of molecules of mRNA entering the cell is creating biochemical havoc, it's disrupting protein metabolism, it's interfering with tumor suppressor genes, it had to be stopped. Interfering with tumor suppressor genes, in other words, it may be a risk factor for cancer. And I've been asked today to share, this isn't just his opinion, many other doctors feel the same way, but one of Britain's most eminent oncologists, Professor Angelique, said to me to share with you today that he thinks it's highly likely that the COVID vaccines have been a factor, a significant factor, in the cancer of members of the royal family. What I'm telling you today is nobody is immune to medical misinformation because of this corrupted system. So let me explain, how did we get here and why have we got here? In public health, we talk about something called the commercial determinants of health. Strategies and approaches adopted by the private sector to promote products and choices that are detrimental to health. Okay? How do big corporations exert their power to influence us, the way we think, what we choose to buy, what drug we take? Right? They do it through several mechanisms. They do it through influencing the political environment, by lobbying politicians. In 2012, when we launched Action on Sugar, I remember having a meeting with Jeremy Hunt, and the Daily Mail at that stage did a front-page story revealing that ministers in the Conservative government at the time had 99 meetings with representatives of the food industry to discuss health policy on food, and 0 meetings with independent scientists. Okay? So the information politicians, getting I know politicians from all parties, and I speak to them privately, a lot of them come to me for health advice, they genuinely don't realize that they are being manipulated for commercial influence. They control, they have the ability to define the narrative through capture of the media. When I was helping to overturn mandates for healthcare workers for vaccines, I spoke to the chairman of the British Medical Association in December 2021. And I told him what was going on. He said, Aseem, nobody appears to have critically appraised the evidence as well as you have in terms of his colleagues in health policy and senior people. He said, most of my colleagues are getting their information on the COVID vaccine from the BBC. Think about that. The power of the media to shape the way we think, right? And who is ultimately controlling that narrative? Of course, there is also funding of medical education, funding of medical research that influences the bias. And then you've got other tactics, extra-legal tactics that they use to try and suppress or censor information getting out. Character assassinations of people, of whistleblowers, people trying to expose this problem. I've had my fair share. In fact, in the newspaper today, the fact I'm speaking here today, they got Stephen Kinnock, who I've never met, and they've probably, not even told him exactly what I'm going to say, but they've basically done a story and told him to say that on stage today at the Reform Party conference is a, in quotes, anti-vax conspiracy theorist. Have you heard anything anti-vax or conspiracy theory so far here? No, these are cold, hard facts. This is how business is done. The general population don't know what's happening, and they don't even know that they don't know. Now, let's get to the diagnosis here. I'm a diagnostician as a doctor. One thing doctors do very well is making a diagnosis. What's the root cause of the problem? Over the last few decades, almost all the top 10 drug companies have been found guilty of fraud, totaling billions of dollars in fines for illegal marketing of drugs, hiding data on harms, manipulation of results. One of the most egregious acts was committed by Merck, who in 2011 were fined almost $1 billion for the way that they pushed and marketed their drug Vioxx, which was an anti-inflammatory drug. And in the litigation process, John Abramson from Harvard, who you can see in the picture speaking to Joe Rogan, there was documents released that the senior scientists of Merck, when the drug was being rolled out, which, by the way, was found to cause increased cardiovascular risk by 2 to 4-fold, responsible for the deaths of at least 60,000 Americans. In the original litigation, when the drug was being rolled out, there was an internal email by the executives, sent to the executives of Merck, which said, it's unfortunate about the cardiovascular risk of this drug, but we will do well, and the drug will do well. What kind of behavior would you describe that as? Criminal, yeah, psychopathic, actually, and that's not being inflammatory. The person that came up with the original definition of psychopath, Robert Hare, forensic psychologist, in the book The Corporation, actually says that big corporations as entities, okay, the way they conduct business actually fulfills the criteria for psychopathy. Callous unconcern for the safety of others, incapacity to experience guilt, repeated lying and conning others for profit. Does that sound familiar? Right? Now, Pfizer, when almost certainly in the summer of 2021, everybody knew that COVID, we can argue the toss about whether it was preventing serious illness and death, and you've already seen figures on that, but we knew that it wasn't stopping infection or transmission. What did they do behind the scenes? They're the ones that pushed the mandates. They funded grassroots organizations, medical organizations in the United States to push that mandates are necessary, and they've made $100 billion in profit. John Ioannidis also says, when it comes to medicine, from his own analysis, the greater the financial interest in a given field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. And we're talking about one of the most lucrative products in the history of medicine, which is unsafe and defective, and in my view, will turn out to be one of the greatest medical mistakes. And in fact, the mistake is one thing, but the cover-up and suppression of this information is criminal, and people need to understand and treat it that way. So how can we solve, listen, how do we make Britain healthy again? I was involved in looking at all of this, and it's very difficult sometimes to sort out the wheat from the chaff. But essentially, with the medical royal colleges, I campaigned with them to try and improve informed consent with patients and push a lifestyle message. And we calculated, and I published this with one of the chairs of the medical royal colleges, Sue Bailey, in 2018, basically saying that if informed consent was to properly take place, patients choose less treatments, we improve lifestyle, we could save the NHS billions and improve quality of care simultaneously. That's without putting more money into the NHS. And it was reported on in the Daily Express and the Daily Mail on about a patient that basically was a heart attack patient of mine who essentially changed his lifestyle, had fully informed consent, came off all his pills, and 10 years later he's breaking his own records at the age of 60 plus in ultramarathons. That's the potential of what can be achieved just through transparency and informed consent. Okay, I have to wrap up. I'm just going to finish up. Give me a few more seconds, a minute or so. So what do we do about this? I think it's time to just say no to all new drugs that are being approved unless they are independently evaluated. Everybody just needs to say no. Over the last few years, it is very clear with the evidence that the drug industry are responsible for probably killing millions of people. And the COVID vaccine, if 1 in 800 was a figure of serious harm, and you translate across the word from the best quality of evidence, then it means the COVID mRNA jabs have likely killed or seriously harmed millions of people across the world. So, from now on, drug companies can develop drugs, but they should no longer be allowed to test them themselves. Our regulator, MHRA, takes 86% of its funding from Big Pharma. How is that acceptable? From these psychopathic entities, right? That is not acceptable. There needs to be independent funding of the regulator. Now, one of the ways that we can fight back, one of the front groups, if you like, unfortunately, of this message has been the World Health Organization that is being captured by Bill Gates, who is its largest funder now. Bill Gates, who made $500 million in investments in the COVID vaccines. Until the World Health Organization become independent, they should be reformed and they should be replaced, and we cannot carte blanche take their advice and act on their advice anymore. And I'm proud to say that I'm the Chief Health Advisor to Action and World Health, co-founded by Nigel Farage and by David Roach. And if there's one person in this country who is speaking up for truth, for honesty, for integrity, who can disrupt the system, and that's Nigel Farage, and we need to get him into number 10. So please help support Action and World Health. Go to actionworldhealth.org. And finally, at the end of this, all of this comes back to the fact that we have deviated as a society, our public officials, from a baseline of integrity. I am proud to be British. I am shaped by British values. My school, Manchester Grammar, which I'm very proud of, its motto in Latin is sapere aude. What does that mean? Dare to be wise. Do not let fear subdue your ability to reason. Action. Knowledge without action is vanity. Action without knowledge is insanity, and we've seen a lot of that in the last few years. But wisdom without courage is fruitless. So remember, it is health that is the real wealth. Let's stand up to this corporate tyranny, and let's overcome this organization of misery. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Aseem. Well, this afternoon continues at a frenetic pace. Let's just catch up, though, with my friend and colleague, Jeremy Carl, JKK. I can see you there.
Sorry, JJ.
I don't know what you're called.
How excited are you, conference? Lucy Connolly in a matter of minutes. The lady who was jailed for an offensive tweet. Living proof there is two-tier justice. Lucy Connolly here. Richard Tice here as well. Nigel Farage as well before the end. Don't go anywhere, right, Bully?
Yes, exactly right,
Brilliant.
Jeremy. Sorry.
Now,
I'm a bit slow on the uptake this afternoon.
I've heard. I spent all lunchtime whilst you were gorging yourself at the stand where the Farage football shirts went like crazy. And this man, here they are. Andrew, how are you?
And I've got a signed one in that bag as well, signed by Nigel.
Good man.
Ooh.
What are you going to do with it?
It's going to be raffled for our party, our local party.
I'm glad you said local party, not, party yourself.
Which is Melton and Syston, by the way.
Fantastic. Very quickly, loads going on this afternoon. Andrew, being here, seeing the delegates, feeling the atmosphere. We talked yesterday about there's real hope in this building and it's spreading out across the country. How has this conference made you feel?
Inspired, I think, is the best description. We're talking common sense again, and we're making Britain great again. We want Nigel in number 10 as soon as possible.
I think people... Let's walk. Let's go that way. We're heading down. Lots of people. How good was Sarah Pochin's speech as well? Fantastic. Madam, what's your name?
Sarah Emberson.
Sarah Emberson. Another Sarah. Where are you from?
I'm from Kent. So
Kent.
Yes, indeed. I'm here representing Kent County Council.
You're here representing Kent County Council. Excellent. Obviously, reform, we know, have taken over Kent County Council. There's been a lot written and a lot said. What sort of job do you think reform are doing in Kent?
We're doing a great job. We are doing a great job. We're turning things around. We're making it a more efficient council, and we're saving money for our ratepayers, which is key.
Absolutely right. And just very quickly before we go back to David, there's a feeling, I think, in this conference of hope, as I just said to Andrew, which is spreading out. And you see it. I've spent lunchtime running around. There's all sorts of people. I was going to tell, actually, I don't know if people in the main hall know this. We were doing, David, a live link, and 3 councillors from Solihull came up and said that in the last 15 minutes they changed from independent to reform in Solihull Council. They actually said that, which was really interesting. So a message from you, a reform council in Kent. What is your message to conference?
Well, let's move on. Let's march. Let's pound those streets. Let's get more people on side, and let's get Nigel into number 10.
Absolutely right. And I have to say, Lucy Connolly on the way, Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, don't go anywhere. But I think you should also show your appreciation for a man who not only put this all together, but has done a sterling job. Dr. David Bull, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me, to be quite honest. Thanks ever so much, JK. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Mayor's Question time. Our first Mayor was a former Member of Parliament, Minister, and, of course, a whip as well. She defected to Reform UK and fought and won the mayoral election in May of this year. Please welcome our Mayor of Greater Lincolnshire, Dame Andrea Jenkins.
Where do you want me?
Now, joining her is a true Hallensian. He's Hull born and bred. He's just 37 years old. He has 3 sons with his wife, Lindsay, and he made his name as a professional boxer. And at the 2012 London Olympics, he won gold in the 56-kilo bantamweight division after beating Ireland's John Joe Nevin. Amazing stuff. Now, following that illustrious boxing career, he turned his attention to politics, becoming the Reform UK candidate in the 2025 Hull and East Yorkshire mayoral election. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a slam dunk. He gained 35.8% of the vote, becoming the inaugural mayor of Hull and East Yorkshire. Please welcome our second mayor, Luke Campbell, MBE. Really good to see both of you. I've obviously spent time with both of you on my tours around the country. Andrea, someone who spent time in politics, obviously, at a very senior level, why did you decide to stand to be a mayor?
I mean, it came out of the blue, to be honest. But when I lost my seat last year, I thought I was never going to go into politics again, actually. You know, I'm going to be a good mum, a better mum, spend more time with him. But then it was the god-awful Labour government. And do you remember what they was doing with the pensioners' fuel allowance? And I just couldn't keep away. And I thought, yes, it's very difficult. You know, I didn't want that dual life of Parliament again at that stage in my life. And I thought, I want to be able to get some power to change things and really try to make things different. And it's great being mayor, as Luke knows, to have that power to make decisions.
And has that really sort of made a profound effect on you? Because obviously being in Parliament is one thing, but you're part of a much broader team. As mayor, you are ultimately the person responsible.
And as Luke knows, it can hire and fire. I mean, hats off to Luke, for, I mean, how many people have you sacked? 12 people or something?
We'll come to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I mean, it is truly amazing. I mean, to have this multi-million-pound budget and actually future-proof the economy. I mean, a big thing is skills. And, I mean, even in transport funding, as I mentioned in my speech yesterday, is Lincolnshire's been let down by consecutive governments with underfunding. And I want to supercharge that economy. That's why I've got my great exhibition, and to show you that, you know, we're open for business, even though Labour's driving away business, and at least in a reform areas, we can show that we champion them.
And so just very quickly, if I may, just does this make it much more tangible for you? Because if you implement policies, for example, you get almost immediate feedback. You know how you're doing.
Yes. But I see it as important, like I know Luke does as well. We've had conversations about this. To me, anyone who's elected at this time, we've got a great weight on our shoulders, because we want to prove that when reform gets power, we can deliver. And we will deliver. Luke and I will deliver. And we work closely because he's just part of the Humber as well. And it's having that power to do things. I mean, it's so different from being a minister. I mean, with ministers, you cannot sack the civil servants. We need to change this when we get into government and sort the blob out. But to have that power to start recruiting your own team and to really make it to a position where you can deliver. I mean, look, I said about my great exhibition, but I'm building a whole new transport and infrastructure plan for the whole county. As I said, I'm building a veterans village. I'm going to build a new town and make sure the infrastructure's there. And also what I'm doing, David, even though it's not in my remit, you can use soft power as a mayor. I mean, it's an awful statistic that in Lincolnshire, there's only one dental surgery per 16,000 people. I mean, have they been badly let down by consecutive governments? So even though it's not under my remit, David, what I'm doing, I'm invested money in the local university to start training dental surgeons and hygienists, but also I'm trying to speak with dental companies to see if we can start setting up in Lincolnshire.
Amazing. Let's come to you, Luke, because I spent time with you, a couple of weeks ago. Yes, very good. Round of applause for Andrea. So we spent some time together in Hull itself, and Andrea obviously has this amazing sort of political pedigree and background. That is not your story at all, is it?
It's not. It's not my story at all.
So tell us your story. Why on earth did you decide one day, OK, I'll be mayor?
Well, it all started over breakfast. I was out having some breakfast with some friends, and one of them mentioned to me, he said, oh, the new mayor's role's coming up, why don't you go for it? So just jokingly, I said, wouldn't that be some story? I said, my community's followed me and backed me my whole career, and now I've got an opportunity to put them first and back them. And it literally just went just fireballed from there.
But, well, it didn't, because the other thing that impressed me about you was the passion that you have for the area you represent. The fact is that you told me that you had to get involved because you were sick and tired of people being left behind, neglected, and that because you understood those people, you wanted to change things.
Yeah. Well, from the age of 12, I've always been a part of the community, charities, fundraisers, in the world of boxing, was always bringing people together. And now I look at things where the council just make decisions for the people, but never with them. So for me, I want to come in and I want to change the narrative on that. I want to start working with the people of our communities and giving them an opportunity of what's going on, what's happening, and what can we do together to make our place a better place to live and to work.
So why, out of all the parties you could have chosen, why Reform UK?
I followed Nigel for about 8 months before it. Obviously not from political background, but I just thought, who's this guy? To me, he speaks a lot of common sense. And then it just went from there.
And so on the day you were elected, could you believe what had just happened?
I won by 11,000 votes in front. So, yeah, thank you.
But did you not have to kind of pinch yourself to think, I was boxing, I'm now the mayor?
Well, for me, it's a name at the moment. Until I can start delivering for the people of my region and making my communities a better place, that for me will be that moment where I feel like, yes.
And so that for me is the most interesting bit, which is the fighting spirit in you. And I could see that in the interview we did before, which is you've taken the fight from the ring for the people of Hull.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I've never been a massive one for titles. I've got titles. I've had glory.
Many.
In my previous career. This, for me, is something more passion, more that I love my community. I love where I live, and I want to make it the best place possible.
Fantastic. Well, I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So, Andrea, so this is sort of micro-politics, but it's also so important, and actually you're so tangible as the mayor, because obviously you live there, you represent these people, they stop you.
I grew up there as well, actually.
You grew up there, they stop you in the shop and say, why haven't you done this, and so on and so forth. What for you is the biggest challenge as mayor, and what is the most sort of...
My idea was, to be transparent with the communities, giving them step by step of what we're doing each week. But then it come to it where I've just walked into a brand new organisation and literally nothing set up. So I literally have to build it from the ground upwards. So it was after 2-3 weeks had gone by, I'm like, I can't keep saying the same thing to everything, because everything's just moving a little bit slow. We haven't got a team in place to even deliver anything yet.
So in terms of what you did then as your first steps, because it's pretty daunting to go into any organisation, but to go in as the boss, as the mayor, what did you do to try to shape it in the way that you wanted it to go, the direction that you wanted to see this go?
Just to basically get up the team, what was there in place, and to say, like, number one job for building this combined authority and the way this vehicle is going to be driven is that the community comes first.
And I think one of the other things, and I think people in this audience and around the world actually who are watching, your story kind of re-emphasises everything I'm saying. We're building this party from the ground up and not the top down. And people like you, I think, are a shining beacon of that. And we need more people like you, don't we, ladies and gentlemen?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, your vision for Hull. Hull is a really interesting place, actually, and of course it's had its high points, it's had its low points, it's got poverty, it's got deprivation. What would a successful mayoralty look like for you?
Well, it's Hull and East Yorkshire. We can't forget East Yorkshire. It's 1,000 square miles round.
Yes, exactly.
So it's quite diverse. We've got Hull, the city centre. We've got rural communities as well as coastal. So it's a very diverse area, and they've all got different needs. But for me, I think what I'd like to see from this in 4 years' time is that we was on the streets with our communities. We was putting them first. But I feel like obviously you've hit the nail on the head where infrastructure is key. Yeah. But I think if we can't bring in investment and create jobs, we've got nothing.
Yeah.
So my job now is to really try and bring as much investment in as possible. I've got a big platform. I want to use it to benefit our local people and create as many jobs as possible.
And just in terms of that, you made a really good point, actually, which is if we are going to be the party of government, we have to show we deliver at every level. We've got over, 880 councillors around the country. They're doing a sterling job. Those councillors are doing really, really good stuff. You're doing great work as well. Just in terms of that, is there a lot of pressure for you to succeed, to ensure that actually we build our parliamentarians from 4 to 450?
Yeah, but I think pressure's good. It's good pressure, isn't it, when you care about your community. And can I just give a shout out, actually? We've got a reformed deputy mayor. Stand up, Ingrid, briefly. Deputy mayor of Lincolnshire, Greater Lincolnshire. It's important, really. It's about planning as well. Yeah. I've got my growth plan, and I've, it's about having these short-term goals which we can show we're delivering at each pinch point before the next election. So that's important. Now, look, as you know, we had our board meeting this week. We've got a lot to do, and I think, as you said, Luke is a prime example of somebody who's great, who we're attracting to our party. And I was very enamoured and loved Nigel's speech where he said that we want to attract people from industry, from different backgrounds. Because do you know what I found? Even being a whip, quite often it's the people who get promoted, David, are the ones who, I call them the brown noses. You know, they're the ones who are actually the career politicians who they would sell their grandmother. But wouldn't it be great to have a cabinet? I mean, we just heard, you know, with the GP, NHS experience. Wouldn't it be great to have a cabinet from these different industries, from these different sectors, who know what they're doing? And I think this is what reform can do.
Absolutely. And I agree with Nigel's sentiment entirely, which is, as we build and develop and grow, why have we got people who have been politicians all their lives in charge of education and health? Why don't we actually have people who know something about the subject they're in charge of?
Absolutely.
So for you, Luke, what do you bring to the job of being mayor that no one else can bring? Difficult question.
Well, the first thing I did as mayor is I launched a £1 million a year community fund to give to the people of our communities, to give them an option on what they want to see happen in their communities. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing for me is, you know, I come from a different world, hard-working background, humble background. I run my private businesses, so I've come from private business sector where, you know, we want something done, we get it done. And it's not to the pace of the public service where it's very slow.
Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it, yeah. It can be very fulfilling once we start delivering.
Fantastic. And just very quickly and finally, if I may, we've got an amazing group of people here, members, supporters. As you can see, we are on the ascent as a party. What can people do here, people around the country do to help you to succeed?
Just get involved and support. You know, that's what I did. I got involved. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a better difference in what's going on in our communities. And if, you know, you're passionate, do the same thing.
Andrea?
Yeah, get involved and start spreading the reform message. And if you yourself have got an interesting background, passion to save our country, please get involved. And also, I say for Luke and I, you know, if you've know people who want to invest in our great counties, please do it, because, you know, we're not going to get Labour money here. We need your help in finding investment as well.
Well, thank you so much. I think you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, the mayors are doing a fantastic job, aren't they? Give them a round of applause, please. Andrea Jenkins and Luke Campbell. I don't know about you, but it's so exciting watching this party grow, isn't it? From the ground up and where we've come from and where we are going. I said this yesterday, but the first conferences that I hosted, we had, 200-300 people. If you're looking at the last 2 days, we're now talking about 10,000 of you in this venue over the last 2 days. And that shows the meteoric rise of this party. Now, I'm delighted to say it is now time for something incredibly important. It's a special Telegraph Planet Normal podcast. Hosting it this afternoon is a dynamic duo. The first is an award-winning journalist and international best-selling author. She's best known as a feisty columnist for the Daily Telegraph newspaper. I think that's fair to say. And the second was economics and business editor at GB News from its launch, and has written his economic agenda column in the Telegraph every Sunday for more than 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alison Pearson and Liam Halligan.
Oh, hang on. He's got such a loud voice, you can hear him without the microphone, trust me. No.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome once again to Planet Normal, the Telegraph podcast with Alison Pearson.
Hello.
And me, Liam Halligan. Now, Planet Normal's been going for more than 5 years. We've had 267 weekly episodes. During that time, of course, as many of you all know, the rocket of right thinking, we've kept a safe distance, haven't we, co-pilot, from the madness of planet Earth?
Our country, as you may have noticed as we enter into, is it phase 2 or phase 3 of Keir Starmer's government, has been occupied by weird aliens. A Prime Minister who thinks women can have a penis, a new Deputy Prime Minister who goes one better and insists that men can grow a cervix.
A country where a much-loved comedian is accosted by 5 police officers and arrested at Heathrow. And meanwhile, your house gets burgled, your car gets nicked, and it's very difficult to get the police to show up.
There's no such madness on Planet Normal. That's why we climb aboard the rocket of right thinking every week to visit our celestial retreat. But we're delighted to have finally found a safe place to dock here on Earth.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rare terrestrial episode of Planet Normal, because we're here, a place stuffed full of Planet Normal citizens, people of sound mind and common sense, the 2025 Reform Party Conference!
Now, as we saw with Nigel's visit to Washington earlier this week, Britain's proud reputation for being the home of Magna Carta, free speech, the mother of parliaments, is being trashed by tin pot authoritarians.
It certainly is, co-pilot. And that theme is very much captured in today's very special Planet Normal guest. On regular episodes, you and I, don't we? We prattle on at the top of the show, sometimes for half an hour. Sometimes Alison talks about economics. Sometimes I get a word in, but not today. Let's get straight into it.
Our Planet Normal guest this week has become a living symbol of two-tier Britain. The sheer injustice she has suffered has shocked millions of people across Britain and indeed across the whole world. She's a wonderful mum, wife, beloved childminder, little kids from every corner of the earth she's taken wonderful care of. So I am, of course, referring to Britain's favourite political prisoner. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the warmest of welcomes
to Lucy Connolly. Crikey.
Well, blow. I told her she had a lot of support, so yeah, now she does.
Great to see you, Lucy. You've been out of prison now, it's over a fortnight. You served 380 days, more than a year.
I did.
Of a 31-month sentence for a tweet that was, I think it's fair to say, pretty nasty. A tweet that you fired off on the evening of the Southport massacre in July 2024, when, of course, 3 innocent children horrifically lost their lives. You're a bereaved mother yourself. You and your husband, Ray, lost your son, Harry, tragically aged 19 months in 2011.
You get seriously distressed when children come to harm. You deleted the tweet after just a few hours, after going on a dog walk. You regret the tweet. All that said, you must have been absolutely horrified when you were arrested and sent to prison.
Of course. I mean, never in a million years did I ever think I was going to end up in prison. And it's not funny, but as I said earlier, if you didn't laugh, you'd cry. However, I learnt a lot in there, and things that you'd never see in any other walk of life. And, you know, I really hope that I can change some things having come from there, because it really is such a broken system. The whole system just needs completely reforming.
Lucy, people have called you. Yeah. Just want to get this statement from Sir Keir Starmer. Very popular around here. Lucy, people have called you a political prisoner, and I know when I spoke to Lucy, she was in jail and we were allowed to speak, but only under strict conditions. And Lucy said something that struck me. She said, I knew they wanted to hammer me from the beginning, no matter what I said. And I just want to read, actually, this is a statement that Sir Keir Starmer made on the 4th of August. You may not have heard this, actually. I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery, the Prime Minister said, be in no doubt that those who have participated in violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online. Lucy, do you think the Prime Minister's statement affected the way you were treated by the justice system?
I would definitely say so. It wasn't a fair system. Everybody should have the right to be able to seek legal advice in a timely manner, but if you're charging somebody on a late Friday evening, remanding them with no real reason, no legal, reasons to remand me, putting them in front of a judge at 10 o'clock the following morning, it's very difficult to go out and find, expert legal advice. You just have to go with what you've got.
Yeah. And that legal advice to you was very firmly to plead guilty. And I think when I've discussed your case with people who, regular people who aren't journalists, who aren't following every twist and turn, they say, well, she pleaded guilty, didn't she? So what's the problem? Just explain to us here why it is that you pleaded guilty.
If I'd have pleaded not guilty, which I would have loved the opportunity to do, there is a really good chance that I would still be sitting in that prison right now on remand. They were in no hurry to get me through the system. They'd got me, they'd remanded me. Why would they be in a hurry to send me to trial or to sentence me?
Big delay in the court system.
There's a massive delay. I've met women in the prison system that have been there 2 years that, proclaiming their innocence, and I believe them, and they're still sat there waiting.
And of course, you had Edie at home with Ray, who I believe at that stage was 12.
Yeah, so...
You'd lost one child. You didn't want to miss any time with your existing child. You wanted to be home for Christmas.
All I thought was, right, what is my quickest way back to my family? And that was to go guilty. The sentence was a lot harsher than what we discussed and what, I was advised by my lawyer. He said, you'll be home by Christmas with TAG. Turns out I wasn't, eligible for TAG either. It didn't quite plan out how we thought it was going to. The judge basically added on my guilty credit on the other end, so I didn't really gain anything by going guilty, because I didn't really gain any credit, because he started from the top end of the sentencing guidelines as opposed to, the more lenient side.
Yeah. So we know that police tampered with your evidence. You had an interview with them.
There was a distortion of police evidence.
There was a distortion of police evidence, yes. And the police released a statement, passed a statement to the Crown Prosecution Service, which said, Mrs. Connolly doesn't like immigrants. She thinks they're a danger to children. Lucy, what did you actually say?
So when I was first arrested, I had a solicitor, obviously, and I had my time with her, and I explained what the situation was, and I explained what I meant, and how I knew the difference between legal migration and illegal migration, and why I was so upset. And her advice to me was, you just put that really eloquently. I think you should go in there and tell the police exactly that, because you've just explained yourself really well. So that's what I did. I went into, interviewed by 2 police officers, and I explained myself. And I made it quite clear that I didn't have a problem with immigration, only illegal, unchecked immigration. I even went as far as saying, I'm well aware that if I go to the hospital today and I refuse to be, treated by an immigrant, I wouldn't get treated. And, as you know, I work for some doctors that are, Nigerian, Bangladeshi.
You look after their kids. They must think very highly of you.
And they are the most wonderful people. I know they really are. And I'm happy for them. And I'm proud that they work, in this country and in our NHS. And I just explained, I explained about a situation when I was in Liverpool, and my friend and I got accosted by 2 guys that were staying in one of the hotels. And I was just trying to make the point that, I'm big enough and ugly enough to back them off. We're quite brave, me and my friend. But not everybody is. If it was a young girl, if that was my teenage daughter, I wouldn't be very happy about that. And as I said to the police, and my friend said, they're there all the time. They do this every night, kicking out time. So my point to the police was, well, why are you not there then? Why, if you know they're there accosting people at 3 o'clock in the morning, where's the police presence?
Yeah.
And to that it was, I don't, and I said, unchecked immigration is a danger to my child and everyone else's child. And I'm well aware that we've got our own wrong uns walking the street. But one person in the country that could be a danger to my child is one too many. And all we've got to do is check them.
8 minutes. To that point, 30 people a day, 10,000 people roughly a year are arrested for tweets, retweets, and other social media so-called transgressions. Meanwhile, you're in jail. The 2-tier treatment is continuing. You're denied home leave, which is very usual for mothers of 12, 13-year-old kids. Meanwhile, a Labour councillor called, you're characterised as the Tory councillor's wife. Meanwhile, a Labour
councillor's racist wife.
Yeah, a Labour councillor, Ricky Jones, is cleared, even though he has called for, for the throats to be slit, literally, of far-right thugs who are protesting, ordinary people, some of them wearing pink and so on. How did you feel about that Ricky Jones case?
Do you know what? He was an idiot. I was an idiot. It doesn't make him a criminal any more than it makes me a criminal. He just was acting out of emotion.
I think that's an astonishing thing to say, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about a classy lady. And I know you said exactly that to Alison within 24 hours of leaving
I don't want to
prison.
live in a country where they're arresting people for having their opinion online and hurty words, and that's not priority.
Yeah.
Family.
I wanted to, of the many stories that Lucy's told me, several very, very upsetting about being denied leave when she was entitled to it from November. They made up excuses, like she spoke to me, stuff they were letting out, really violent people, weren't they? I want you to tell everybody here, Lucy and Ray's daughter is a wonderful golfer. She is just 13, and until Mum went to jail, she was the best under-15 girl golfer in Europe, right? Amazing. Good. And Lucy and Ray met at the golf club, so it was a match made in heaven. And recently, Edie was selected to represent our country at the World Junior Championships. Amazing. And about a month ago, she went to the World Junior Championships, and proud Dad was there taking pictures. All the girls were posing with their national flags, Australia, Germany, America, and Edie, of course, representing our country. And Ray sent to Lucy in prison pictures of their daughter and all the other girls with their national flags. And Lucy got in touch with Ray and said, hang on, there's 5 photos you've sent me that have been censored. Which child with a flag were you not allowed to see, Lucy?
My own. Because she was, I didn't know why at the time, so I rang Ray and I said, oh, these photos you sent me, you know, I assumed that maybe she was in a bikini or something like that, because you can understand why they wouldn't put, you know, let you have those on your wall or whatever. He said, no, they were all Edie just playing golf and the plants in the garden and stuff. And he said, oh, maybe it was because of the flag. I was like, no. Anyway, when I got out of prison and I got my stored prop, there was the photos with Edie draped in the flag with all the different country flags and the other children, but I wasn't allowed it.
That is Orwellian bureaucracy.
It's madness.
That is really nasty.
So,
you can't even see a photo of your own kid representing her country holding her national flag.
No, apparently not.
That's a disgrace. We just got a few minutes left, Lucy. I'm sure there's lots of people you want to thank, not least the lady to my left in the Margaret Thatcher
tribute dress.
I want to say publicly how proud I am of you, Alison Pearson, because
don't make me cry.
I've got to get my brownie points in, you know. Because I know, because we see a lot of each other, we spend a lot of time together, just what the knock on the door from the local police did to you. It almost destroyed you. And there were members of our profession who made fun of you and chided you, and they should be seriously ashamed of themselves, the journalists who did that. You were and are a warrior for justice in your own case, and that case is ongoing. But I would say that the way you've championed Lucy Connolly's case, the dogged determination you've shown, the humanity you've shown, in part stems from the experience that you yourself went through. So I say to you, Lucy, in just the last few minutes, I'm sure you'd like to thank Alison. I'm sure you'd like to thank Reform, not least Deputy Leader Richard Tice, who was the only MP who came to visit you in Northampton jail.
Yeah. Firstly, Alison, you're my hero.
You're
really
my hero, honey.
You just turned the tide for me by reporting the truth, and you didn't come out with your pitchfork like other mainstream media did without knowing all the facts. You didn't go with the narrative that the government were pushing. You went with the truth and the facts, and for that I'm forever grateful.
Oh, darling.
And with regards to Richard coming to visit me, I mean, that was amazing. That their attitude really did change towards me once he'd, come to visit and told them their fortune. And then...
Yeah, you said that they started being like, anything we can do for you, Lucy.
Anything we can do for you. A bit late now, I'm going home soon. And obviously Nigel, and all of you guys, and all of the Reform Party, and everybody that supported me, when it wasn't fashionable. Thank you all. And to my husband, who has just been amazing. He's such a good
Where is he? Ray somewhere. Where is he? Ray's here. Just want to say 2 last things. One very moving thing. One reason I wanted to champion Lucy's case is because nobody in the justice system cared that Lucy and Ray had lost their little boy at 19 months to medical negligence. And she called me from prison and she said, Alison, it's quite bad here, she said, but the worst thing in the world has already happened to me because I lost my baby, so it doesn't matter, they can't hurt me. So I have huge... And I think everybody wants to know, you've become this symbol, and I know you said it's about more than me. So I want to know what next for Lucy Connolly. You know, you've become famous now, notorious. What would you like to do?
I'd really love to use my experience to work with, hopefully, reform in the future. and overhaul the prison system, especially the women's estate. It doesn't work. It's a waste of all of our money, and it just needs... we could let 80% of the women population out of prison and none of us would be any danger. They need housing, they need mental health, they need rehab, and they just need people to care. That's it.
Yeah.
And Lucy, you really believe that strongly, don't you? You think we don't actually need to build more prisons. We just make much better use of the prisons we already have.
Reform the system that we have, invest that money in housing, mental health, help for people. And how are you staffing these prisons? You can't staff the ones you've got. It's nonsense. It's not going to work.
And one thing, Lucy told me that she voted. How did you vote at the last election?
Reform. It didn't go down too well in her house.
She was married to a Tory councillor at the time.
You can get some tips off Suella Braverman. Oh, that one's that's changed now. So, Lucy, it's great to have you with us. I think everybody, in the way you've conducted yourself, in the small number of interviews since you've given, since you left prison. In prison, you demonstrated your intellect. You were enormous help to many of the women in there with their correspondence. And
them to me. I learned such a lot from them ladies. It's a different level of intelligence that they have. They've had to live. They've lived a different life to us. They're clever in a different way, and I learnt lots from them. Not all legal, but...
Actually, when Lucy went in, you said that they said, "What are you in for, Luce?" And you said, "What did you say?"
You said, "Did a tweet," and
they went,
"No, you're not." And actually, at that point, I was glad I was getting such a lot of, be it negative media attention, because they wouldn't have believed me. They'd have said I was something else, that nobody wants to be in prison. Because, everyone's got a cover story.
But you really do want to get involved in reforming the criminal justice system.
It would, it'd make me
I think
so
you've got
happy.
every qualification to do so, if I may say so.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You're better than it now. Lucy, it's been an honour and a privilege to get to know you. I'm so glad that your case, that you're out of prison. I'm so glad you're reunited with your lovely family. Good luck to you. We haven't heard the last of Lucy Connolly, I'm sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucy Connolly. So that's it from Planet Normal, this very special edition as we leave our sanctuary of sweet reason, our flying refuge of reasoned views. If you'd like to listen back to our chat with Lucy here today or become a regular listener, you can find Planet Normal on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Thanks to our producers, Cass Ho, Louisa Wells, Katie Dobson-Hall, and Matthew Bailey, and also to Reform UK, not least to Conference Supremo, Aaron Lobo, who has made all this magnificence happen.
And thank you especially to Nigel Farage and Richard Tice for giving us precious time here with you at your party conference. Stay safe and in touch with us and with each other. Until next week, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, wasn't she utterly incredible? Thank you so much for sharing your story with us here at Reform UK, and I have to say, only Reform UK will reform the criminal justice system to ensure it is fit for purpose. Now, that brings us to our penultimate speaker today. He's a good friend of mine. He's a man who, quite frankly, has dedicated so much of his life to this party. Without him, this party would not exist. I got to know him when we served in the European Parliament in Brussels, and we have worked together for a long 6 years, since 2019. He really is an amazing politician. He is a passionate campaigner, and he cares very deeply for his constituents in Boston and Skegness. Let's remind ourselves of his story.
We're back. Yes, recess is over and the action has kicked off once again. It's like being back at school. And sure enough, we're making all the noise. Reform are leading the way on policy, about immigration, about saving money, about net stupid zero. We're winding up all the right people in that place behind me. And yes, there's just 4 Reform MPs at the moment. But we're the ones that Starmer and Labour are panicking about. We're the real opposition. Patience is a virtue. Just you wait. It's all happening within just a few years. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds of Reform MPs shaping the debate and, frankly, saving our United Kingdom.
Please welcome to the stage the Member of Parliament for Boston and Skegness and the Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Richard Tice.
Hello! Anyone having any fun? Are we enjoying ourselves? What a party, what an amazing, amazing group of brilliant, wonderful reformers. It's incredible, the size, the scale, the energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the hope. And an incredible 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, that we have had. And to listen just then to Lucy, who I had the privilege of meeting a couple of months ago in a slightly different location. It's wonderful to see her back with us and to hear her direct telling her story. And I think that she has a huge opportunity to help reform and help the cause of free speech. Now, these events don't just happen. They don't just happen, ladies and gentlemen. They take a massive amount of work. And I just want to say a huge thank you to our chairman, David Bull, who never gets any thanks, and his team, Aaron Lobo. They've been amazing, absolutely incredible. And just to clarify, David does have more hairspray on than me, as always. Now, look, I've got to talk about some bad news, and then we can finish on some good news. Because, yes, we do need to talk about the money. Because the reality is that the state of the country's finances are not good. They're in a shocking, shocking state. And all of the important data is bad. Job numbers after the disastrous budget last October are down 160,000+. They're falling at a rate, the fastest rate since COVID. Travel spend is down. Construction spend is down. Growth across the board is down. And the wrong numbers are going up. Yes, inflation is going up. We've got the borrowing costs are going up. The amount of borrowing is going up. All of these numbers are heading rapidly in the wrong direction. And just this week, we hit a 30-year high in the cost of the government borrowing money for 30 years. It peaked at about 5.75%. I know I'm a bit anarchy about this stuff, but it matters. And basically, the bond markets are applying what they eloquently call the moron premium to our Rachel from complaints. Or was it a councillor? I'm not quite sure, but the point is, the bond markets do not trust this government at all. They know that they cannot control public spending that is completely and utterly out of control. And the chances of us getting through the lifetime of this Parliament without some form of financial drama is remote. And I've been speaking to a lot of people very close to the market, and it's a bit tense, it's a bit difficult, to say the least. That's the bad news. The good news, folks, is that actually a reform government will be a strong government under the brilliant, courageous leadership of Nigel Farage. And be motoring again. You won't see a reform chancellor crying on the front benches. And the reality is that we know what is needed to get the economy motoring. We've got to cut the vast amount of wasteful government spending. We've got to get rid of the vast, incredible amount of daft, useless regulations, many of them from our friends, our old friends, the EU. And if we achieve those things, then we can afford what I call performance-related tax cuts. That gives a direction of travel of how we can motivate and enthuse and inspire. And the remarkable thing, folks, is that we're already having an incredible influence. I mean, apart from the fact that we exceeded everybody's expectations in the May elections, controlling 10 councils, the biggest party in another 3, over 800 councillors. No one thought that was possible. But on some of the biggest issues of the day, we're leading the way. So on the issue that the Bank of England is voluntarily paying interest unnecessarily to the rich city banks, I raised it. They scratched their head, what the hell's Tice talking about? Then they looked into it, good Lord, he's right. I wrote a 3-page letter to the governor of the Bank of England. He wrote back, if you haven't seen it, it's on their website, and I have got a meeting with the governor later this month. They are taking us very, very seriously on that issue. You know what's extraordinary? You can have a scrutiny committee in a council monitoring £5,000 of expenditure, but you can have a monetary policy committee and a governor of Bank of England making decisions about £100+ billion with no scrutiny from Parliament of any sensible, meaningful kind. It's absolute insanity, complete insanity. So we're having an influence there. And then the second area where we're having an influence, and where once again we got the numbers right, is on our good old friend, net stupid zero. And it's important to remember, 3-word slogans matter. And it's lovely to see steam oozing out of the ears of Red Ed Miliband when I gently raise it with him politely in the House of Commons. The penny is dropping with people. Contrary to what they said, the bills are going up, they're not going down. The jobs are being destroyed, they're not being created. Industries are being destroyed in front of our very eyes, and it is absolutely disgraceful. Just in Lincolnshire alone, Andrea and I, she's doing a brilliant job as mayor, by the way, as is Luke. Andrea and I have been working incredibly hard to try and save thousands of jobs based around the Lindsey oil refinery, which this government, in its ideological stupidity, seems to want to close. We've actually introduced potential bidders to this process. That's how we get stuck in to make things happen and to save jobs. In the same way that, frankly, it was because of Nigel and I that British Steel was saved. So we are having a huge influence. We wrote a letter to all of the potential investors in what they call allocation round 7. That rolls off the tongue very nicely. Which is all about more renewable offshore wind farms and solar farms and all the likes. We said, you're on notice. We don't want you signing big, long contracts at ever higher bills. You are on notice that we do not consider your contracts from here on valid. This is a con. We're being misled. We're being lied to. I'm going to borrow an old trick from my good friend Lee, who's a brilliant chief whip. Do we want these big subsidy contracts anymore? No. Let's just rip it up. Oh, by the way, given that we're a bit short of cash, and that this government think it's a good idea to waste cash giving away our valuable strategic Chagos Islands, maybe we should keep those too. Anyone fancy ripping up that deal? It's done. It's done. We're not going to tolerate this waste of our cash and this loss of our strategic assets. It's absolutely vital. So we're having a huge influence. I've written to over 100 potential investors in solar farms. Fine, put solar panels on the roofs of homes and industrial units. Lincolnshire does not want 100 square miles of solar panels, least of all from China, covering our agricultural farmland. And we don't want the battery storage either. We've got serious questions about them. And something significant has happened this week, ladies and gentlemen. As we write these letters to these shareholders and investors saying, don't do it, you're on notice. This week, I believe, a planning application for a solar farm and a battery storage has been rejected on concerns about safety next to a school. That is potentially a significant moment. So, and that's the joy of this conference. We're all learning so much. We're making such an influence already. They never thought it could be done. They never thought we could be polling in the lead and all this. But actually, we are shaping and influencing how investors think. And that's absolutely vital. So on the one hand, we could save money with the Bank of England. On the other hand, when I said net zero was costing 30 billion of taxpayers' cash, they scratched their head. They said, no, Tice, you're not right there. A year later, the OBR caught up with us. And they did their numbers, and they came up with, guess what? 30 billion. Even our old friends at the Climate Change Committee, they're not our friends, by the way, they said, give or take, it's a similar number. So actually, we're quite good at this stuff. It turns out we're right on the numbers. So when I said last year and before the May elections with others that we could save £5 in 100 on wasteful council and government spending, all the commentators and the journos said, don't be ridiculous, Tice. You can't do it, it's not there. And we said, we all know it's there. And sure enough, this Monday, I exposed the scandal of the mismanagement, the overcharging, and the underperformance of the local government pension schemes. And I mean, this is like, it's like looking down, deep down the back of the sofa. You just dig deeper than anybody else and you find a pile of cash. My God, there's like 8 to 10 billion quid under the sofa. Is that useful? Would that help create a brilliant world-leading social care system and provision in our councils across the country? Is that what we want? Or would you rather be on the side of the rich city investment managers? I didn't think so. So we are hard at work. This is literally reform at work. We're getting stuck in, and we're only 3.5 months into these councils. Imagine what we could do in 3.5 years. Imagine what happens if people listening and watching say, I'd quite like you to run our council, please, next May. Because then we can do the same. And so this stuff is really, really significant. And then we've got all the property portfolios and assets owned by these councils. And from the early stages of what information I've got already, frankly, the mismanagement of those is woeful. So the waste is everywhere. We're after it. Now, there's been a bit of chat recently about this thing. There's a jab flying around. And a jab that sort of helps reduce the size of our waste. So I thought, well, maybe, should we apply a bit of the old Wegovy to slim down the civil service? What about a touch of the old Monjaro to reduce the size of the Quangos? And finally, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, a bit of the Ozempic to reduce the bloated welfare state. I think this could work. So there's massive amount of waste to cut out of the system. And I know that only reform can achieve that, because we have been round the block. We've got incredibly successful people in the party at the moment and joining us as we speak. And therefore, we know that actually we can also cut the vast amounts of unnecessary, daft regulations. Now, I want a bit of audience participation here. Hands up, anyone who likes GDPR. Anyone? Not a single hand up amongst 4,000 people. Quite right, it's a nightmare. You're always on your phone. Yeah, go away, cookies. And do you know what it affects most? Healthcare. I talk to people in healthcare, and it's a major, major problem. That brings me on to the other problem. My friends, aren't they lovely? My friends, the bats. I spoke last time about the £100 million batshit bat shed. Well, that was on a national scale with HS Stupid too. But here in Lincolnshire, not here in Lincolnshire, but in my county of Lincolnshire, oh yes, our friends at Natural England, they want another bat shed. They want a bat tunnel to go under a relief road that is due to be built in Lincolnshire. £5 million. Is that a good use of £5 million? I don't think so too. So this week, I've written to the chief executive of Natural England, and I've said this is really not a very good idea. I hope you support me on this. So I'm looking forward to the reply, because I don't think that's a good use of taxpayers' cash. And if Natural England think that's a good use of our money at any time, then I think a reform government needs to have serious words with Natural England. It's not on. And there's a whole bunch more. What I know, folks, what I know is that this level of influence, shaking things up, disrupting people, challenging people, stopping the rip-offs. You see, essentially, we're now negotiating hard on behalf of the taxpayer. And bluntly, I think there's nobody better than us to do just that. And when we achieve this, when we achieve those savings, we cut the regulations, we can tell our friends in the bond markets, we told you so, this is how we can afford to cut the taxes on a sort of performance-related basis with a direction of travel so that we can get the economy motoring even more. I want 2.5%, 3.5%, like we used to have in the 80s and 90s. That's what makes us better off. That gives us the revenues to get the debt to GDP down. That then drives proper growth and prosperity and more money in our public services. We can do this stuff. And what's incredibly exciting, as I draw towards a close, is that you've seen the membership rise to 241,000+ as we speak. The quantity of incredible people coming to us and saying, You are the party to save Britain. You are the party that understands how business can get things growing again. That is who we are. Incredible people, some of the most successful people. I met a guy this week, a physicist, utterly brilliant, who wants to help just behind the scenes for nothing. This is incredible, folks. I'm so proud of what we're all achieving together. So the good news is that, yes, it's gloomy at the moment. We have to have optimism. We have to look forward. And what I can tell you is that whilst we may be currently in a damp, dark, gloomy, long tunnel of deep socialism, there is light at the end of the tunnel, folks. It's there. It's in front of us. And slowly but surely, that light will get closer and closer. And let me tell you what that light is. It is the light of reform. It is the hope of reform. It is the aspiration of reform. It is the confidence and the belief of reform. Do you fancy a bit of that? Yes. Do you think the country wants a bit of that? Yes. Do you think that's the reason we're leading in the polls? Yes. Folks, do you want to save our United Kingdom? Yes. Do you want to make the United Kingdom great again? Yes. And let's just check here. Would you like to see Nigel Farage as our next Prime Minister? Yes. Then welcome him to the stage. Thank you.
I thought it was never going to end. Good afternoon, conference. Richard, what a fabulous speech. Lots of passion, lots of facts, lots of humour. And we all have to remember that without Richard, Reform UK would not have survived as a political party during those very difficult years. And I am very blessed. I am very blessed to have a deputy leader as talented and as hard-working as Richard is. He's a tremendous credit to this party. Give him a round of applause. I'm pleased to see the membership is now up through 242,000, 250,000. Here we come. It has been, I really believe it's been the most incredible conference. The big word that comes out of it is energy. The energy has been literally unbelievable. The enthusiasm has been extraordinary. And the fact that you've all stayed right to the very end. And what a strong end it was, wasn't it? Lucy Connolly, wow, what about that? But there was one speech yesterday that made me think deeply about our future. And that was Preston Manning, the founder of the Reform Party of Canada, a party that came from nowhere and took over the government of Canada and ran it well for 10 years. And he talked about the story of how they did it. And there was a point that he made. The point that he made was, when we had our disagreements, we had them in private. Now, you know, you can't get a large number of councillors from a county and everyone's going to love each other, that everyone's going to agree. It's not possible with human beings that that could ever be the case. But my sort of big message at the end of this conference, as we head towards those massive elections in Wales, in Scotland, in London, in the Midlands and elsewhere next year, is that you are the people's army. And to succeed, it needs one thing: discipline. Can we please exercise discipline and air our disagreements between each other in private and not in public? And if we do that, we will succeed. We will. Now, there was another speech yesterday, right at the end, that really did move me. And it was Lee Anderson, who, by the way, can be incredibly funny when he wants to be. But there was a very serious message that came from Lee yesterday, and it talked about good, sound, solid principles. He talked about his life, and it encapsulated everything we're about. He talked about his family. He talked about his community. He talked about his belief in country. He talked about getting up of a morning, going to work. He talked about self-pride, self-respect, getting on with life, not relying on others to bail you out of your problems, whilst at the same time fully understanding there are some in society who do need help. But I think we all know we're now living in a country where we're paying a lot of people not to go to work who should be going to work. And I want to invite Lee Anderson up onto the stage now. Come on, Lee.
Great man.
I was so impressed by what Lee said, and particularly as you'd worked within the system, Lee, hadn't you?
Yeah, I worked within the system, Nigel. I worked for the Citizens Advice Bureau for many, many years. I saw real poverty, I saw real desperation, but I also saw some people that should have been going to work, some may be swinging the lead sometimes. But it's not fair, because we should always protect our vulnerable, our disabled people, the people that need the real care. But there are millions of people out there. And I don't always, to be honest with you, Nigel, I don't always blame the people, because I was lucky. I was lucky in the fact that I lived in a little terraced house with my mum and dad. But like I said yesterday, we were the alarm clock generation. I heard my dad get up in the morning and go and do his shift. Didn't have much money, but that taught me the value of hard work and family. Get out there, do a job, do some graft and provide for your family. And if we all do that, under Nigel Farage's leadership, we'll make this a better country.
Well, having heard all of that, I have no hesitation in announcing henceforth Lee Anderson is this party's welfare spokesman. Congratulations, Lee. Now, can I please just say this? This was the one man that had the guts at the end of the last Parliament to join Reform, and he won his seat with an even bigger majority.
Bigger vote share, yeah.
Bigger vote share. He encouraged people in Ashfield and in neighbouring areas to put their names forward for the county council elections, and we had a massive success. Next year, we're going to need up to 5,000 of you standing in Swindon, standing in bits of Kent, standing in bits of Yorkshire, standing in the West Midlands, Wales, Scotland and London, where we're going to need almost 2,000 people as candidates. Last year, At the end of the conference, I urge people, please put your names forward to be a candidate. And people went out, and the Reform Village is there today, and they volunteered in large numbers. And I have to make that same call to you, conference, this afternoon. Are there people among you prepared to stand up? Prepared to stand up and be candidates next year? Who wants to be a candidate next year? Stand up.
Stand up.
Come on, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. This is the People's Army in operation. Well done, all of you. Fabulous.
Get up. Come on.
Fabulous. Well, thank you. Thank you. You do realise that you're all on camera. You don't mind? Good. Good. There's no turning back for any of you. Okay, we're going to end this conference now. I'm going to invite all the other speakers, those that have participated on the stage here over the last 2 days, to come and join Lee and I now and give them a big hand as they make their way up the steps. You better come here.
Well done, Sarah.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the team. Thank you to you for all being here. I'm very proud to lead a party like this. I've had a fantastic conference. I really am honoured to be doing this job with your enthusiasm, encourage, love and support. Now, we will end the conference by singing the national anthem. But I am going to keep the microphone as far away. I'm going to let Andrea Jenkins be the star. So, please stand for the national anthem and travel home safely.
Please join in as well.